Uh,
There we go. There's the button. Yeah, we're gonna record this time. When we left things, Claire was stuck in a nightmare. She just reminded me of that. Thank you. Um, I don't know where it's. Well, there's two things. I think I will because it's kind of more fun. I'm gonna start with Eddie because he realized he was in a dream, and is probably shaking himself out of it. Oh, just so you guys know, everybody who was there earned 3 experience. You've clearly checked everything on that list. I don't even need to repeat it. It's like, do you know more about the forces of evil? Yes. Do you know more about each other? Obviously. It's like it's just 3 experience. Just take it.
learned stuff
And
about lizard people
there's
last
so
session
there's
from.
so much stuff there that it's like it's kind of silly for me to ask that when I already know and we all know. So um, yeah, I'm gonna describe this recap through Eddie's eyes as he wakes up because that'll be great. So you're coming to out of you're like, no, I have hands. These are not. I can make things. This is a dream. This is completely irrational. I'm gonna wake up right now, and so you do. You wake up to this sight that in front of you, and what the first thing you see is you didn't really get to see him because you passed out as soon as you heard the music. This man uh, Eric dressed in very yellow, weird looking clothing with like it's sort of like a yellowish brown, and he's playing a viol, and it's all like with bone and black and steel and stuff, and he's playing it very strangely. The weird part is he is defending against attacks, but his music is still going. It's like it's like kind of disconnected from. It's like continuing to go, even though his bowstring is not going across it. Um, it seems like what's his name? David's character's name. There we go. I need David. Can you change your character name, please? Make it easier on me, please. Oh, oh.
I hope you know that I have Zoom calls with my dad, so every once in a while he says, "Oh, did your character die?"
That's pretty funny. All right, Derek. Thank you. My brain was not working there. Long week. Yeah, Derek. It looks like he fired off some sort of black energy strike from his hand. Oh, sorry, it was either his hand or his knife, basically in front of him, and it deflected off of something. So there's something there. Like you can see something bounce off of it. It looks like it took damage, but it like ricocheted. And then Zeppo's character flew into the air, attempted to slash at him with his sword. At which point, the guy in yellow raised his bow out into the air and knocked Zeppo off across the room, and he hit a wall. So basically, he
Got it.
deflected him with his bow, and there was like weird musical notes and strange shit that happened when he moved his bow, and it kind of shimmered out. So possibly also a ranged weapon. You don't know, but he definitely deflected him, and that's what you wake up to. Oh, sorry, one other thing. Your half ghoul friend uh, is also awake and very confused and looking around the room and is like, "What is going on?" And I have no idea, and he's very shocked. He also saw his Zeppo change, and he saw Derek's character change as well, because he was there and he was awake, and all this crazy stuff is happening around him, and no one bothered to like cover his eyes or something. So
Who is this again? Our friend.
your friend. I will give names. They're important. I don't know why names should me today. I'm telling you. No, I know it's in here because I put them in my notes. Okay, Lewis.
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 Oh, yes,
Your
Lewis.
good friend Lewis is very shocked and he doesn't know what's going on. And it seems like he's on top of all his shocked and whatever's going on. He seems to be having a conversation with someone who isn't there.
I
So he's like talking like to something.
I remember last session Eddie was shaking Claire.
Oh right, yeah. No, that's fine. You so we just did it where you woke up and then you're now shaking Claire as your first action. That's fine.
Okay.
Claire, do you have your sheet? You might want to make another magic roll to try to knock yourself out of that.
Magic?
You
You
think
mean mystical?
mystical? Yep.
All right, seeing as I have +2 mystical,
Plus 2
I
mystical.
rolled a 5.
That is not a success, is it? Oh, you barely. I'm sorry. It is a barely success. Good enough. Um, 6 and lower is bad. Okay, so
Is it?
then go ahead.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, continue.
So 6 or lower is bad, so you're good. Um, so this is what it describes. Since you're in a dream, I know exactly how this plays out. You, Eddie grabs you by the shoulders and shakes you rapidly. And now we cut back to Claire, who's now your family is all grieving. Your sister is dead. You're like, oh, and then an earthquake happens, and the building starts like shaking and doing all sorts of like when people are doing the sci-fi effect, right? Like, and then you snap out of it. You're like, no, no, this is just too weird. Why are all of these things happening? And then you hear like Eddie's voice in your head being like, get up, wake up, you gotta get up. And then your eyes snap open.
Ah, I brace myself as though I like the world is shaking.
Yeah, you still feel a little bit of it, but you're good now. Mostly because Eddie was still shaking you.
I'm awake. I'm awake. I'm awake.
Oh, thank goodness.
Okay. I'm gonna assume that all those actions happen simultaneously. So Dean hit the wall, you're shaking them. The beam deflects off of that way. Um, it looks like he has gone back to playing music. However, the people in the audience are starting to like stand up and like I'm not saying zombie around, but like wander about. And you guys can feel free to start actions from there, by all
What,
means.
what happened? I look around trying to get a sense of. Like,
You get the description of the guy I said before. It seems like some of the students are now getting up and starting to approach where you guys are. And there's a few students kind of really badly trying to block Dean, but they can't because he's flies. So they're kind of just like, shields, but really doing really a bad job of it. You can only issue one command at a time, okay? Like, defend me, okay?
are they? Is everyone else in like a trance? I mean, that's what I'm hearing, seeing.
Some of them, yeah, everyone seems to be in a trance, though a few of them are standing up and being like trying to defend him or trying to approach you guys.
What instrument is he playing?
A viol. It is a large violin, basically. It is up to his shoulder, and it is really creepy and probably made of bone and black material. Just for fun, I'll say it's like an obsidian kind of color, and he's just like playing it with his bow, and he's playing this really. By the way, he's playing the horrendous music the whole time. Like it's not stopping because you're awake. You all hear it, so it's like on top of this, you have to deal with this annoying horror music going on in the background. Um, Unfortunately, you'd have to listen to probably like the music of Arxon or one of the versions, but basically it's high pitched trilling and all sorts of back and forth unusual sounds.
Can I can I
Yep.
I'd like to roll for hex.
Oh, damn it! You beat me. Go for it. That's literally what I was about to do.
All right. You're rolling for hex. Sure.
Yeah, so roll plus mystical on a 12 plus hold 3. 10 plus hold 2, 7 to 9 hold 1. How does that work? So like so how long do these hold, like
So
how long does that last?
the holds are just a means of storage. So basically, you have 3 actions or 2 actions or 1 action that you use, usually within the same combat scene. So like you can't carry them out of the scene, basically.
So if I roll a 12 and I get 3 holds, I can use them all at once?
You could, yep.
Okay.
But yeah, that's basically. I wouldn't. I would assume that it would not leave the combat scene. It would still be within this whole combat. Let's
Oh,
see.
okay. All right, well,
Which page is hex so that we know?
It's on page 31.
31. Okay, gotcha.
I rolled an 11.
All right. You rolled an 11. Jeez. All right. What's your plan?
My first plan is to force him to drop the instrument or the bow, I suppose.
That's interesting. He drops it, but the music continues to play.
And
It just causes him to drop it, but like the instrument strings are continuing to move, and like it's just kind of floating near him. Like he's
Uh,
still like he's playing it with
Can
his
the
head,
target,
basically.
if I'm going to inflict damage, can the target be the instrument?
You're gonna try to break his viol. You could try. Let's see. Causes
So
one damage
that
to
would
the
be my, that
target.
would be the second hold is if I get
Okay.
two.
You don't. So you attempt to hit his viol with the second one. It
Yes.
it goes at him like your cat is with your. If a hex is used like this, it's like a spell. So you're doing a spell at him, and you see the weird barrier thing shimmer a little bit.
can I try to figure out what that barrier is and what's causing it?
Sure. I figured that
Oh.
that's some sort of investigation check, but he still has hexes left. So let's. I think
Oh,
he
he
still
didn't
has one
finish
more.
his turn. Sorry, I'll wait.
Do you still
Well,
have
he
more
can
than?
always
Go ahead.
No,
he could always
that's
again
it.
he could always
forced him
hold
to
it.
Okay. If you want to hold it, that's fine.
Oh no, I'm just reminding him that he could always hold it. Sorry, Zeppo.
No, I used both my holds.
Oh, okay.
I caused him to drop the bow,
He did drop it. Yep.
and then I tried to inflict damage to the viol itself.
Right, but due to whatever is blocking hits on him is blocking that.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. If you wanted to, Claire, try to investigate what's going on with the barrier, that's fine. I assume glimpse the truth.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
what most of
glimpsing
these
the
end
truth.
up being. Yeah.
Give off 1 second. Can I use all fits together? 1 second. Let me just read this real quick.
Sure.
I'm gonna do it. It's all fits together.
All
It's
right.
on page 27. I'm experiencing deja vu. This definitely, I have a memory of this happening before. Um, I rolled a 12,
Okay.
including on my mystical. I get to hold 2. 1 second. Which one do I want to do?
Reminder that there are like questions that are adjacent to those questions are fine too. I'm not as like picky that it has to be exactly worded that way. You
Can
know what
I
I mean?
try interfering with whatever's creating that barrier? Instead
Uh,
of you can interfere with the enemy giving a +1 roll. I'm
huh.
not exactly sure how that works.
No, I get you. You can interfere with the enemy, giving a +1 in your next roll.
Or cause an accident.
Oh no! I'll give you that, but I don't think it's going to affect the barrier. If you're okay with that, then I'll let you
Although
do
that's fine. Absolutely.
that. Okay. He, you, you do something, and one of the strings goes off randomly, and he looks pissed. Like you can't see it. Like he doesn't. His face doesn't change, but you can feel it. Like he
Oh, I
just,
do.
he's like looks over at his viol for a second. Like you.
Well, seeing that it pissed him off, I fucking smirk smugly at him, and I do it again as my second hold. Fuck you.
Okay. He is actually distracted. Like he is looking over at it, like as it's placed like 2 notes he doesn't like, and it just bothers him immensely. So he's just like he's at a -2 basically until other actions because he's just like, what the hell is going on? He doesn't say it, but it just you can see it. Um,
I stare right back at him.
you hear "How dare you," but his mouth doesn't move. He just like echoes through the room.
Come at me.
He can't-
Fucking fight me.
He is. Okay. Let's see now. What's the next? Oh yeah, didn't you want to examine the barrier, or do you want to do something else? Because you did the interference.
Yeah, I like to examine the barrier. I'm not sure
Okay.
exactly what it all fits together does, but
Sure. And after that, we'll move on and
Yeah.
move to somebody else. Yeah. All right. Sounds good. So did you make a roll for that, or was that the roll for the other thing?
I can make a roll for that. What
Okay.
would the roll be?
It would just be the 2d6 in mental for the glimpse the truth.
7.
Okay. On a 7, hold 1. All right. Who's in control here? What are they trying to hide? You could ask sort of like what kind of barrier is this, right? Like that would be
makes sense.
the most thing that makes the most sense. Okay, what kind of
Yes.
barrier is this? It seems like it's like a circular barrier that goes all the way around him. So it's an AoE. But if you had to guess, whatever the origin point is probably underneath him. So he's sitting on top of something that's giving them this barrier.
I relay that information. It's like, guys, the barrier goes all the way around him, but whatever it is creating is underneath him, so we might need to move him
I think that brings it to me.
under the stage.
Cool,
I could
because
set
he's
the
standing
stage
on
on fire with my sword.
he's standing on a red rug, and I was already thinking about trying to move behind him since he's so focused on the two of you right now. I was gonna like kind of take that opportunity to move behind him and literally pull the rug out from underneath him.
Do it.
Okay. Let's move to someone who hasn't got a chance. Eddie. Claire is obviously taking actions. No, but Eddie hasn't a chance to do anything. You woke
That's
up,
okay.
Claire. Yeah. Eddie, what are you up to? Nope. Mike.
Luna, you're muted.
Mute.
There we go.
Okay. So yeah, you've woken Claire up. She's obviously doing stuff over there, like examining, but you have actions while she's busy.
Yeah. Can I roll on a be vigilant?
Sure. Okay.
Right. That is the mental. Right. Okay. That's an 11.
Be vigilant. Okay. Oh, that's an interesting way to go. All right. What is your plan with this?
Ooh. I guess what's my best way to protect the people around me? Like, how can I, yeah. How can I, what's the best way to protect the area of victims here?
Okay. It seems like the range of his attack is sound. So if you could grab people and just start like shoving them out the door or getting them outside the room, they'll probably lose whatever that effect is that he has on them. So if you
Great.
can start shuttling people out of the room.
All right, shuttle surface again.
Okay, so you're just gonna shuttle people out of the room. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So Eddie's busy zipping like the Flash out of the building, moving people outside. Meanwhile, let's see. Dean, what are you up to? Sorry if I'm going around.
That's okay.
You've just been slammed against a pillar. That was where we last left you. He did some sort of thing and then slammed you against one of the pillars of this auditorium.
Right, I got slammed against the pillar, and then I got slammed back, and then as I came forward, I hexed him,
Right.
and then
you already did hex him. Sorry, I did do a thing. Go ahead.
right. So I'm going to fly at the stage with my sword
Yeah.
and try to light the stage on fire.
Okay, so you're flying forward, and now I'll cut to Derek. Derek, what are you doing? You see Dean incoming from a distance, but incoming. Derek? Oh, I don't know if his mic's on. This is the unmute day.
You got it. Yep. I had myself unmuted, but then I muted myself again.
No, it's fine. I accidentally let
Uh,
everybody makes mistakes. I gave Dean 2 actions there for some reason. I just he must be into the action right now.
Yep.
Go ahead.
That's all right. So I wasn't really sure how I could. So what I'd like to do is pick the rug up and try to like pull it out from underneath him. I think just that. I mean, I was trying to figure out some way to make it into something more, but I think that's pretty simple.
Do you have
so
like
just-
telekinesis? You don't have like an ability to grab a distance, do you? Because you'd have to like literally go right up to him, and I don't think he's just gonna let you like yank the rug out from under him.
Well, I think I was pretty close to him anyway because I had made the beam attack the last round. I was pretty sure I got onto the stage. And since he's kind of taken up by the other two, I thought maybe I would have some level of advantage here to get close enough.
All right.
I mean, if you need me to,
No,
if you need
no,
me
no,
to
no,
make
let
some
me-
kind of another roll.
Let me think about this. He is protected against magic. Okay, so
Mhm.
spells and things won't hit him, but I bet he is not protected against someone taking their hands and literally grabbing the rug under him. So I feel like you
Mhm.
can make a physical roll, not one of your high strats, and try to yank physically the rug from underneath him because that is not something he's probably protected against. So go right ahead.
Um, now I have 13 experience. Can I convert one of those to like a heroic achievement or something like that, so I can add one?
You can't level mid fight. We did that before. Leveling
No,
happens
no,
when
no,
you
no. I'm
progressed.
wondering if I can turn the experience into a heroic achievement, because I had it before, so I don't know how that, like, because that's what you use
You can convert now. That's fine. You just can't spend
yeah.
it.
No, 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 not to spend it on a different skill, but just to be able to add one to the roll.
You don't use experience to add to rolls, at least as far as I know. Let me.
I thought it was like a heroic achievement I could add to. I could
Mm,
I haven't done it before, so I couldn't remember which is
you have an
it,
ability
it
that adds to a roll. I just don't remember the precise wording. I don't think you spend this game is not experience spendy, for as far as I
okay.
remember.
I thought it was like power pool
Yeah,
or
power pool is different. Power pool
okay.
is you can
It's
spend
some
power pool to adjust a stat. Like that is the stat you use for that. So any
okay.
points you gained in your power pool you could use.
Okay, but that's not something I get from my experience.
No,
Okay, that I
experience
was
and
confused
heroic.
about
Yeah,
that.
no, experience turns
Okay.
into heroic experience and vice versa.
Okay. Okay, gotcha. Um, I don't know what I would necessarily be able to do to try to help enhance myself on this, but you're saying that he'd be guarded against magic anyway.
So
So
look on the bright
I'm just
side.
gonna
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
hope that that my roll is good enough, and so it's just a straight 2d6 because I got rid of that physical problem, and that's an 8.
Okay, you grab the rug and you yank it. Now, normally I would say that you would have a disadvantage because you're pulling a person, you're in combat, trying to drag this thing around, but he is highly distracted because you're
Mm-hmm.
yanking at the rug and he's looking at his instrument, being like, he's getting up, like looking at it, and you just basically go, and you pull the rug out from under him. So
Mm-hmm.
the red rug, with a weird sigil on it, basically slides across the floor. Now this is awkward, and you now have a protective seal that you're walking around with because you didn't destroy it. You literally,
Mm-hmm.
you're literally walking around with it. So
But
good. He
he's
is
no
no longer
longer
under it. Okay,
yeah.
at this point, I'm gonna have him make a chance to strike back, even though he's gonna be at a disadvantage. But oh wait, I
Does
can't.
that -2 come in?
No, you know what? No, what the? No, he can't. He's too busy. Okay, so go. That's fine. You grab the rug from under him, and what is the next action people do now that they've noticed? Oh, I'm sorry, Dean. Cut to you. Your friend has yanked a big rug underneath him, and you were already like, like charging it. Okay, Dean,
Sure.
you attempt to make an attack on him.
Can I make a split-second decision and change my action, or have
Uh,
I committed to what I was doing?
no, you haven't committed fully. You're just flying towards him with sword drawn.
All right. Well, I'm gonna sort of like roll my arm in like this, and I'm gonna sort of like fly. I'm gonna fly into him like with my
Oh,
shoulder.
you're
leading.
body checking him from the air. Is what you're doing. You're like gonna body
Exactly,
check him.
yes.
All right. Go ahead. Roll just basically physical, like 2d6 and physical. You're just slamming into him.
Okay. Okay. I rolled a 12.
Really? You roll it? Okay.
I can take a picture, but I
No,
swear to
no, no,
God,
no, no, no. I'm just picturing that he already has a negative. He's gonna have ongoing negative until probably next round. Okay. You yank the rug out from him. He goes, "What the?" Basically the expletive, and then turns around and sees Dean shoulder check him. So then he probably hits him and slides him to the back of the stage. Um, what's your physical? Because that's probably gonna be harm.
I don't
What?
have any physical.
Oh, you don't have any physical. You just rolled well. That's funny.
I rolled a 12.
Okay, so this is not physical damage in that way. It's just shock and probably con stun for a second while he gets up from the stage. All right. It's not a. That's a clash action. Oh yeah, with the clash action, you could spend on it. So when on a 12, because this is clash, it's definitely that. Um, there's no wrestling or something. No, okay. With the clash action, you have 10 plus. You can either do extra damage, suffer less harm, force where they want. Like there's a list of different things. You get 2 of those. So
So on a 12 plus, choose an enhanced effect instead.
right, so you could obviously force him where you want because it sounds like you're just shoulder checking the shit out of him. So you're just gonna knock him around, which would be funny. But then you still have an extra one you could do. Oh, it says on 12 you can choose an enhanced one. Fantastic. So,
I'm gonna inflict double damage.
but your damage is that's interesting. Not doing base damage is nothing, but you're definitely doing impact. Think about it. Okay, fine. However, you will take some harm because you're not preventing harm. Just so you know.
Okay.
So
all right.
This is all I can picture.
I slam into him.
No, that's fine. I now know how this plays out. Since you deal 0 and he'll net 0, but you're doing double damage. So here's what you do. You rush in, you shoulder check him, you knock the wind out of him, he slides back, and then you go, oh, that hurts. Because you're standing there, you're holding your shoulder, you're both basically like stunned each other. So you're like, oh, why did I do that? He doesn't seem to be down, but he definitely seems winded. Let's see, Derek, Claire. Oh yeah, let's see. Eddie, are you still shuttling people out? Like that's the plan still? By the way, the music is still playing. Amazingly, he held to it, even though he's like.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
So I rolled that 11 on the Be Vigilant. It says hold 3. Is that for the power pool? Is that how that works?
No, hold 3 is within the skill. So the hold is spent on different things within it. So for example, you could add with one hold you could say what is my best way in, what is my best way out, etc. Or on a 12 plus you could ask me something that doesn't even exist here. So if you act on a meaningful way, they get a +1. I mean, you're already getting a plus bonus for just taking them out of the room, basically. But
Okay.
you did do one of those, but yeah, you still have 2 remaining if that's what you mean.
Oh, 2 remaining questions, you mean?
Yes, because you only asked what's the best way to get him out of
Right.
the situation.
Right, okay, good. That's what I was thinking of. Are there any dangers that I haven't noticed?
Yes. You've been noticing while they've been messing around on the stage, some of the people that I mentioned earlier have been wandering around, like the people that are under his control, and they're gonna probably start grabbing other people in the audience or possibly your friends.
All right. I mean, that sounds like a thing I just need to shuttle them all out.
just keep moving people out of the room. Okay.
But okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's Eddie's just gonna keep shuttling for now.
All right. Sounds good.
Can I?
Yep.
Are we on turn number 2, right?
Yeah, at this point, yep.
I'm gonna keep trying to distract them.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna keep messing with him. It's working.
He's already like gut punched and like in the corner, but sure. What are you gonna do? Mess with his mule more?
Oh yeah, with his music. I want him to stop making that music, so I'm gonna keep doing it until Hey man, he put me in a nightmare. He deserves everything it's coming to him. Honestly, he deserves more.
Alright, roll for it.
It's mystical, right? I believe it's
Yep.
mystical.
Yep.
What is an 11?
Okay.
I'm just gonna do that again.
You're just gonna keep messing, like playing, like he's already playing creepy, out of tune music. You're actually like playing the occasional real note on it, like dung, dung, or something like that. It's just really throwing him off. All right, making his day miserable. Let's see. He's gotta do something that makes up for this. Okay, he's down. He can't do that. All right. Before the next person starts to beat him up, he puts his hand up, and like some of them, like the people in the audience, get grabbed like like in a very not friendly way by some of the other audience members, and he makes a gesture like "do not move," basically. Actually, you probably hear that in your head. So do not move, or they will pay for your problem, or they will pay for your crimes.
Who's being attacked? Is it
Uh,
anybody that I
some
know
of the
or care
audience,
about?
I mean, just random school people being grabbed by random, maybe not zombified, but like mind-controlled school people. So he's like doing this gesture, like if you move one more step, they'll start choking him, basically.
I mean, I'm not moving at all in the first place.
Okay. Well, yeah, you're not. He's mostly concerned about Dean, who just like shoulder crashed into him.
That's fair.
Okay, and that's the beginning of the next scene. Derek. We'll start with Derek. I feel like he's got this weird thing going on right now. What do you do with your rug?
I am definitely just gonna drop the rug.
Okay.
He's
also keeping now. He's like, because you pulled the rug out from under him. He's kind of keeping an eye on you, but he can't really keep an eye on both of you guys. So he's like keeping an eye mostly on Dean.
Yeah. Is there is there an advantage when you are flanking, or is that not?
He's already already going to get advantage on him because he's having problems. He's been winded, kind of, and he's got his viol is not listening to him, is making weird sounds that he does not like. What do you? And he can't keep an eye line on you, really. He's keeping it on Dean for the most part.
Well, my two options are attack him or attack the rug or attack the viol. So.
Right.
I mean, it seems like the viol is the source of his power. I mean, is that what Claire is trying to figure out?
I mean, I won't say anything either way. You'll have to figure that out on your own.
Well, is that what Claire had transmitted to us? Or
I transmitted that he was standing on whatever he was standing on was giving the
Okay.
I will say that every one of the villains that you've come across so far had some sort of weird artifact of some sort or another. That's fair to say. I mean, anybody could realize that, Bart.
So he's basically saying, "Stop," or I'm gonna
start choking out other students with students.
I'm going to slip my knife into the between the neck and the strings of the viol, and hold it out so that the music should either stop or become almost impossible to play, and say, "You better stop or I'm cutting the strings."
Okay, now I feel like this is almost like an intimidate, so let me see what would make the most sense.
If anything, it's probably a plus persona, I believe.
Yeah, I feel like this is a persona roll. They're totally like, oh yeah, well I'm gonna break your instrument if you don't shut up.
Yeah. So I'll just roll that. I'm using a different dice roller, and it's so I rolled a 6. I'm pretty sure I have a +1 in that. I know I have a +1 in that. Yeah, there it is. So that's a 7 in whatever intimidate skill you want to.
Yeah, no, a 7 is a success, but I feel like he'll need concrete reassurance that you'll actually do it. And it's like my concrete reassurance is that I begin to press into one and snap one. Wait, hold on. Do you actually snap it? Because in the background, as you get closer with the knife, you'll see like students be like, ugh. He's slowly like choking him out in the background.
Well, again, my thought process is that the source of his power is the music. So if I stop the music, then I might actually break the connection with all of them anyway. Okay. So that's my thought process. Because obviously the music has been the problem the whole time.
Right, but he might be A, it might not be, and B, he might also be using this as a bluff to try to get you not to do that. But yeah,
to not cut the strings. I'm pretty much going to cut the strings anyway. But I'm trying to get him.
He doesn't know that,
I'm trying to get him to stop.
Right.
No, he doesn't know. I'm trying to get him to get them to stop, and then I'm just going to cut the strings anyway to see if that will fix the problem.
Okay. So you give him concrete reassurance by cutting one of the strings and being like, "No, I'll cut the rest," basically.
Yeah.
Okay. You cut one of the strings. He screams, just because, and becomes probably extremely angry. But you did hold to your thing. is his reaction? That's
I'm not even really concerned what he does. I just want to. I'm kind of.
no, I know.
I'm keeping an eye on him, but I'm also looking into the crowd to see that they are stopping.
Let me
Because
think.
if they don't stop, then I'm cutting strings. They're all done.
You just like you feel his anger. Think of it as someone who trained his entire life to do something, and you're right in front of him destroying like the what he considers like the perfect instrument. Like so, it's like he's like, oh, I've trained my entire life, and you're just like, kink, kink, and you're like just like cutting the strings on him.
Yep.
I need you to make a mental roll, Derek. You're really good at that, so hopefully you'll make it.
Me? No, I'm not.
Oh, you're not. Oh, good.
No, that's Amos. That's really good at mental.
Okay. Oh, whoops. Well, you're gonna wish you had Amos, probably.
But I did cut at least one of the strings, right?
No, that's fine. No. It looks like the strings are not magical per se.
Okay.
No, the strings can be cut. Also, I assume you're using your blade.
That's good. That's
okay.
An 8.
This will stop the spell, probably. You're thinking that as you do it, it's weakening the spell, but then you remember the last time one of these objects was damaged, and you get this flashback back to the park, and like what happened with the necklace. Well, last time we had a problem. Like, last time someone had
the explosion,
the giant explosion that occurred, and this one has absorbed more energy than that one. So he doesn't know that's what's going to happen, but you definitely do. Just FYI.
Okay. All right. Well, I obviously haven't destroyed it yet.
No, you haven't.
Yeah.
So you basically are still continuing your. If you keep going, I'm gonna keep cutting these. Okay.
Yeah. But I assume that the music must be getting weaker and weaker.
It is getting weaker. Yep.
Do the people in the crowd seem like they are slowing down at the very least, or are they becoming more erratic?
The people in the audience are starting to like not come around, but like definitely his control has weakened on them.
Yeah, like they're slowing down. They're not as
right.
They might still be aggressive to one another, but they're physically like slowing down and becoming confused as to why they're doing the things that they're doing.
So
maybe
I think at this point our friend will speak up because he's just been observing this whole nonsense that's been going on, and no one's really.
Lewis. Yep.
Yeah, Lewis. Lewis will stand up and goes, "Why? Why are you doing this? What's going on?" And he just looks at his friend. He goes, "We're friends, right? Like, what happened?" He's like, "You'll never understand. You'll never understand what it's like." And it's just like, he's just like in shock. What? Oh yeah, that's another weird thing. Lewis was completely unaffected. That does not bother anybody else. I just figured, FYI, he's been awake the whole time. Like, just been standing there, like in shock.
Well, my thought would be that he either, because of what he is, maybe he was able to, quote unquote, roll high enough to not be affected,
right?
Or because of his closeness with this person, maybe the person couldn't, kind of like a Jedi has a hard time affecting another Jedi that they're related to. So there's that kind of a personal conflict.
But as far as you know, Lewis doesn't know anything about what he is, so he's very confused. He is just standing there.
But they're still friends, and so he couldn't bring himself to attack his friend as heavily, and Lewis was able to mentally guard himself enough to not be as affected by it. So that's me as David.
Right.
That's kind of my thought process on it.
Okay. Yeah. So you kept just like just stop, leave it alone. He just looks at Derek's character like just. I'm trying to help people in a weird way. It sounds
How
weird.
is this helping people?
I'm trying to make them understand. He's like in a maddening voice.
Their worst nightmares.
The musician is saying that to me.
Yeah, he's basically singing to you, sort of, almost everybody else, but to Derek.
Oh,
They
I don't
need
mind
to
Claire
understand. Go ahead.
I don't mind Claire taking lead on it, but I just wanted to make sure that it was him
It was
saying it,
directed
not
at you because you're the one doing
it
the
wasn't,
thing.
but it
Could
also
I-
wasn't
can I hear
Lewis.
it,
It
though?
also
That was-
wasn't Lewis saying it. That was my other concern.
Sorry, Dean, go ahead. Oh, what was the question?
Oh, can I hear it? I'll
Oh
respond.
yeah,
later.
no, everyone. So you've realized that he has basically one-way telepathy. He never moved his mouth. You could just sort of hear what he's upset. The whole room hears it, kinda. So
Eric Zahn? Are you talking about
yeah,
Eric Zahn?
Eric's on. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't know. I just saw your hand go up, so I thought you had a question.
I do have
Okay.
well, let me just figure out how to put my hand down. Here we go. I use my connection with Derek. I say to him, I'm going to take the instrument and fly away.
Go for Derek.
Okay.
I'm
And-
still gonna ask him why he thinks this is okay. I'm
Oh,
just
okay. So wait, what
upset.
order of events here? We need to work out this jumble. So Derek is busy intimidating him, and he's kind of collapsing under the intimidation, which is fine. Dean is gonna try. Okay, Dean is going over to where the viol is. Claire can communicate during that time. So Claire, what are you saying to him?
What do you mean you're trying to help people? How is this helping people?
If you understand yourself, you can understand others better. Why does no one get it? Why does no one get it?
Because you're showing them their worst nightmares.
Exactly.
She's speechless.
He's mentally
There's
stable.
no.
You
know what?
There's no helping this.
I actually feel like I get what you're saying right now. You're trying to get people to
Derek almost
understand.
gets this guy. That's the worst part.
You're trying to help people understand their fears so that they can face them and begin to deal with themselves and heal, right?
So you try to understand
What is healing if I have to watch my sister?
I'm working on it.
In my mind, I'm like, hold on, I'm going someplace with this.
You need to understand what it's like to be trapped. Okay, by the way, Eric Zahn's completely mute. Was always been mute. In fact, every time they've said he's talking to everybody right now. He's like
with his own,
with his mental
with a mental connection, or he's like his voice is just emanating.
That's what I mean. His voice. I said his lips have never moved. He's emanating it from his mind. So it's like, do you know what it's like to be trapped in your own head, to not be able to tell people things, to be this? And he's that kind of guy. This brilliant, but in confined space. They need to understand. All of them. They need to understand.
Well, then why not turn that on yourself and help us to understand why you're so afraid, and help us understand where, how we can help you out of your prison.
I've been released from my prison. They give me a voice. I have a voice now.
But you have a voice. You have a voice for evil when what you really want to do is good. So how does that work? Aren't you still a prisoner? Aren't you still a slave to something else? Not what you want.
As long as I help people, I can have a voice. He just rocks back and forth.
Exactly. And that is why you need us to help you, to find out how to use your voice to truly help, to truly make beautiful music that will inspire people and stop people from being hurt. Look at them. They're hurting each other because of you. That's not helping anything. Let's truly help these people. Your friend doesn't want this, right, Lewis?
Lewis is like, yeah, he just thought about it himself. He's like, wait, you could talk? When could you talk? It's been a lot. Okay, it's been a lot. He's like,
it's been a lot. Yeah, dude.
All right.
I hear you. We all and Zahn, we all hear you, and we all want to hear you, right, guys?
But if I stop, you can't hear me anymore, and you can't hear yourselves anymore. That doesn't help anyone.
But we can hear you through your beautiful music, can't we?
It's hear me through my beautiful music. Okay. Are you gonna attempt an actual touch your heart, Eric? Derek, sorry. May I say Eric?
What is that?
That is a roll.
But
It is
that
I'll show you.
is that a plus something?
Yep. Let's
So
see.
plus emotional, I think.
It is your greatest stat, I'm sure.
Everything right now is either a 0 or or positive. So I'm doing pretty good.
Okay, let's say touch their
I
heart.
got a negative.
You attempt to redeem a villain. It is roll plus emotional. So you
Boy,
can.
here we go.
Yeah.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Actually, well, could I do this mechanically? Could I continue? Could I continue pushing in this way, but try to? Because I did just try to turn it to everybody else to see if we could all kind of begin to work on this together. Maybe he's not quite ready to to
All right.
give up his path. I mean, I don't mind making the roll, but if I roll badly, obviously, it's done. But if I can bring the other 3 people in on this to do this together, then that would make
Okay.
it so that
You can do this together, and there is a limit on that. But
Mhm,
remember that if
mhm.
you fail your roll, they take the same penalty or whatever. So if
Well,
you do,
if I fail this roll, we're all going to be penalized anyway.
Yep.
okay. So hold on. Let me see how many people you can get involved
There's
in that.
4
I
of
think.
us.
Well, no, but
No,
you
yeah,
can't
yeah.
get a +4. So
No, I
it's
get that.
up to
I
a
get that.
+3. Yeah, I see what you mean. Okay.
Mhm.
I will let people help. Basically, what they could do is you can do this, which is an emotional bonus, right?
Mhm.
So the real question is how many people can get involved. And unfortunately, or fortunately for you guys, they don't say how many. I assume you can't go above a +3 roll, but there's only 3 other people.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
all right. Who
So
wants to?
let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. Let's Dean, Claire, and Eddie can all take a turn saying something, and you can make a judgment as to whether what each person has
Well,
said
no,
is
it's
impactful.
they're going to give you
I'm just
a bonus anyway. It's just that if they
okay.
fail, you all go together, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
But with a +4, I should be okay.
Okay. Well, +3. You're not getting a bonus
Oh,
for
+3.
yourself.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Only
I
up to
apologize.
a +3. So yeah. Okay. Okay. Sure. So Derek is taking point this time on. This is what Dean did last time. So Derek's taking
Mhm.
point. What do you guys want to say? We can go around.
Eddie will say like there is more than one way to communicate. It's not always easy to speak, but the people want to hear your voice. People like you, people respect you. That's why we're all here in the first place. And so if you have something to say, we'll help you. We're here for you.
You're here for me.
We are. That's literally why we're here.
Okay. Oh, that's an interesting pause for him. Go ahead. Dean.
Sometimes the best way to help somebody is by not saying anything and just letting them know you're there and present with them.
I'm just gonna cut to your friend in the audience who just does like this nod. It's like you were always there for me, and he just does this little nod. That's all he can. He doesn't give no bonus, no bonus. Just for free. Claire.
Claire is trying to. She is trying hard not to let her
Hold back that
get the
anger.
best. She gives a nod that says nothing.
I agree with them. That's it.
She is going to hold her tongue, and that's the best. That this is the best possible outcome for what's for her right now.
You guys are attempting to mental another villain to death. Okay, that's fine. This is how this works.
This is a magical girl anime, of course.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's either that or Derek would continue to destroy the weapon and it would explode dramatically.
Well, so my if this didn't go well, I was gonna grab the rug and throw it over the top of me and him,
Yeah.
and then cut the strings.
Yeah. Well, it'd give you a
or just throw it
self-defense.
over him and cut the string so it would blow up on him and not on
Yeah.
everybody else. So I have a +3.
You have a +3,
and
and if you fail, though,
and-
everyone goes on. Okay.
rolled 10.
Okay, so it's a total of 13. This is
13.
lucky 13.
Lucky,
Okay.
Yep, that's my number. I think that's definitely Derek's number.
Okay, everyone who was involved gets 1 to their power pool. Enjoy. That's how you get that.
Woo!
Hey.
Power pool? What's that?
It's that thing you spend to add to your rolls. So it's on your
Oh.
character sheet. So anybody
That
who
thing I needed a minute ago.
I don't think Derek
I
gets it though. Because
What?
you're not the one. They're doing it to you to help. You don't get a bonus for yourself. Sorry, that's not how this works.
It's fine.
You sound all disappointed.
I did a good deed, and no
Don't worry.
good deed goes unpunished, right?
Wait, you mean I get
I'm
one?
just messing with
This is odd. Okay, sure. They see the error of their ways and remove themselves from the situation. You may form a relationship with them later. Okay. All right. So here's what happens. He I don't know the best way to explain it. He gets up, and his clothes kind of just become really boring. It's not like the giant guy who turns into a smaller guy. It's just that his clothes become like a normal suit. His hair is still gelled back, but you could tell like the version of himself that he was using was like his hair was like really dramatic. It had the streak of white and all this like very orchestra-ish kind of thing. And now it's just like sort of, a guy with his hair slicked back. His eyes turn normal, and he just sort of just kind of rocks back and forth. You can't hear his voice anymore because he is now silent. His viol kind of collapses to the ground, and a bunch of people.
Well, I'd
ahead.
still be holding it. I'd still be holding it.
Oh, okay, sorry. It stops doing the weird music, or attempting to, and but it's still a thing. So it's still a physical object.
Mhm.
He is just sort of. Wow, this is really actually kind of sad. Just sadly, kind of rocking back and forth in spot. Like he can't communicate to you guys. Not really.
Can
None of it knows sign.
Can I do one more thing?
Sure.
Can I use? I don't know if this is like too much of a stretch with
Yeah.
wish. Can I use wish to wish the strings back together in this moment?
I'm
Like,
gonna
this is
laugh if this is the thing that sets off the problem of the
right.
universe.
So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to fix it so I can hand it back to him and say, like so it's going to hand it back to him, and then I can so he can continue playing, because that's his voice, really. So I'm going to roll, and I rolled a 7, so that's +2. That's a 9.
Okay, so
One day.
so here's the thing.
So I hand it to him, and I just kind of start like clapping a little bit, like
Well, hold on.
keep playing. Sorry.
You can't actually. I know it sounds weird, but you can't actually recreate the string on where it is. What you do have is a spare string from nowhere, but that's completely different. So in your hand is the spare string that fits his viol, which is also weird.
That particular string, yep.
Yeah. And then you hand it to him, and he just somberly reattaches the string while people are kind of like waking up and coming out of a daze, being like, "What the heck is going on?"
And I just start applauding wildly, like.
Oh, Eddie joins in. Eddie's like, yes.
Everybody else will start applauding wildly, and like nobody, like you know how a crowd is. They're waking up, like what's going on? Like, oh, amazing!
Everybody else is just like, oh, we must have fallen asleep. So he just sort of like, oh man, he's a professional through and through. He'll go back to trying to play. He'll start playing things that aren't that song, basically. And for the rest of the short while he's going to do the concert. Hold on, I just want to see what this message was. Oh yeah, people are just gonna.
I think Claire really just wanted to kick this guy's butt.
It's like, how dare you do that? He did do some terrible things, but I feel like so this was a person who was trapped in himself, and he wanted everyone else to be, just so that they would feel what he felt. That's what the vibe you got from this dude.
Mm-hmm.
And so, go ahead.
Oh no, like she 100% understands this.
Understands his message, but it's not the right way.
She understands that is not how she feels.
Okay. Don't fuck with my family, even in my dreams.
That's like
She's definitely got to go to the
done
gym
there.
later and just beat the hell out of a body bag.
Um, hmm. Let's see. So you've defeated him. That's not great for them. Derek. Oh, you're pretty close by. What? You're like on the stage, or if not nearby.
Yeah, yeah.
The real question is whether or not they're gonna do the thing they always seem to do when you defeat them or whatever. Let me make a little roll back here.
Try to use
Try
some
to
magic.
try to magic and possibly detonate it. That's what they did one time. I don't know if they want to do that again. No, oddly enough, the thing does not explode. Though I'm sure it would be very dramatic for it to. He continues and he plays the rest of the concert, but different music that is not the original music that he was going to do for the night.
I imagine that as he's playing, the energy that's in it begins to kind of like emanate out and kind of burn off in a sense.
Back to the audience.
Yeah, back to the audience and just back into the air, and things just kind of start to mellow out.
Dramatic thing for it to do the opposite. So he's now playing the music, and the energy that was stored inside of it is like glowing back out into the audience. Everybody thinks it's a stage effect. He's just sort of playing along, and he's giving back. He's giving his the control back to the crowd. Is what he's doing. Thereby, he's basically diffused it before it explodes. But it looks nice. It looks like he's doing a good thing.
We will need to look over, and I'm kind of saying this into everybody's mind. We will need to look over him later and figure out what the magical artifact is, and maybe take, if it's not the viol, then figure out what that is so we can deal with that. But I think we did a good thing.
There's still that big dent in the side of the building that someone's gonna have to figure out how that got there. That's fine.
Yeah, it was just such a. It was. We'll write a piece in the play that it was just such an amazing and magical performance that people just got raucous, like it was a metal concert. It just basically turned into a metal concert, and things happened, but nobody got hurt.
Right. I'm just picturing that, like, there's still somebody who now knows what your identities are, or at least some of yours, because you guys switch back and switch forward in front of him.
Yeah, but I mean, he's our buddy.
Yeah,
and we'll just, and I feel like Lewis is kind of like us, where
in a weird way, yeah, kind of.
In a weird way, especially like myself and probably a little bit like Claire, where we're both pretty dark and pretty ominous, and we get along well with him. So he's not going to be like, oh, I'm going to turn my friends in.
No, I mean, generally you get the impression that this guy doesn't talk much to people that he doesn't know. So, okay.
Only took us an hour to use that fight. Amazing.
What's up?
It only took us an hour.
Because
to use that fight.
It was more like, once the barrier was moved, you were on stage with him. The problem is he can't get up and fight you because he was currently like, ooh, someone hit me in the tummy. So like he was currently over there in the corner, and then as he's getting up, you had took the advantage on him to jump his viol while he was getting up from, like, it's always like the most, like, what is the word? Like, not bad thing, because you're doing a good thing, but it's always the most shady sounding stuff. It's like, well, after I con stunned him, he got up to go play his instrument, and I already had it, and I had to pick up my knife, and I was standing over it. It's like sucker punching. They're basically sucker punch losses.
I mean, it's still 4 against 1, so I mean, it's still a little bit lopsided. So but that's the way that these villains want to fight. That's fine with us. We're just gonna.
They only come one at a time. That's how it works. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to put ideas in your head, but at some point you're gonna need to throw something at us that we're gonna have to actually fight.
Well, he figured the threat, probably the threats would get you guys, but they were like, nah, I think I'll just break it. All right. Well, This is awkward. So the concert comes to a close. What do you guys do? Do you try to have a chat with Mr. with Eric Zahn afterwards, or
Claire is going to leave that to the rest of the party. She's gonna leave.
she wants to have a chat by choking him out?
And
I
she
kind of
needs
want to
to
look
shut
around.
off.
Okay.
I want to look around and make sure nobody's employing a video camera.
No, good call.
So the video camera. Let's see. Would there be a video camera?
Very well could
It's
be.
the
Very well
school
could be a video game.
performance, but then like the person at the camera would have fallen asleep.
The thing would have
But
taken
was the
video,
camera still
though.
rolling?
The scare will start it rolling in the first place. Should take the cassette. Actually, Claire's gonna go to say if she'll just take the cassette.
Oh, you're gonna just take the cassette right out of the
She's
thing?
just gonna take the, yeah. If everyone's still asleep and just chaos, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So basically, while people were waking up, you literally just went over and kicked hit the cassette eject button and grabbed it.
I grabbed it, closed it, and then I walked out. I'm done.
Okay. Dean, it appears someone was recording it, but now they're concerned and looking around because the cassette was taken. So, oh well. Because that's true. Claire didn't do much during that action, so she could definitely have time to go up there while people are waking up and like just push the button and pop it out. But yes, it's after the concert, and so then it comes down to, do you confront him afterwards? Do you move on with your day? There's still the rest of the
I
day.
think we definitely need to have a conversation with him, find out what his if he has a magical item that might be controlling him, and make sure that we deal with that.
Okay.
So
My thoughts on the matter is seems like a Warehouse 13 kind of situation. Like there's some, like these artifacts are coming into these people's possessions. They seem very specific. Like the dog collar, the musical instrument, they're very personal.
No. I'm just making sure people are still here.
I'm still here. I'm just
Okay.
gonna wait.
No, that's fine. Awkward silence.
wait, am I muted now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, sorry, I doing too many things at once.
No, that's fine.
I mean, again, it might be the viol, it might not. So we have to figure out if it is, and if it is, then we have to deal with that. But if it's not, then we have to take the thing that is the magical item and maybe kind of do the same thing that we did with, what was that guy, Nick? And say,
oh yeah, about
hey,
that. As you guys are leaving, Nick is like, "Oh God, here, guys! What did I miss?"
not too much. You missed a really great performance.
Aw, that's a shame. I thought there was something going on here. I had a problem in the hallway I had to deal with, so I'm here now though.
Everything okay?
I don't
yeah,
know. A few dozen rats, I think. He's like, I had to deal with that. That was a problem.
Like people-faced rats or just like regular rats?
Very unusual rats, yes.
Yeah, okay, great. We'll
Rats
we'll
of
look at that in a second.
unusual.
Rats with unusual faces, yeah.
Yeah. We need to. So, do we go to
I like
Zahn?
being. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, did we already go to Zahn and talk to him about the about whatever might be controlling him?
No.
I feel like we need to
You
kinda
can
do that.
you can do that. Just that's why Nick was delayed a bit.
Yeah.
Had rat issues.
Yeah, we'll help you with that in a second, Nick.
Okay. They're good now. I don't like harming animals, so I think I just knocked them out for the most part.
Yeah, they might not actually be animals, but no, good call. Let's go talk to Zahn. Figure out some way we might be able to get it so he can talk. Maybe we can give him some paper to write on. That seems like a reasonable way to communicate.
Okay.
What do you think, Eddie?
Yeah, is there a chalkboard, like classroom with a chalkboard or something? I don't know.
I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure there's. I have a pen here, and I could probably find some paper. Yeah, there's got to be paper here. This is a school. There's paper everywhere. And
Because
just give him
if
something
he's
to.
like just mute or something, we can at least communicate.
Yeah, we can ask him questions and then try to keep him somewhat yes or no, and then he can write down what he needs to as we move forward. But yeah, we should definitely go and and congratulate him on a great performance and thank him for understanding our point of view and wanting to heal and then just ask him, does he have any strange artifacts that might be a problem?
Okay.
So
That's fine. Your friend is still kind of following you guys. He's like followed you from the front, and he's just like,
Lewis,
yeah. Lewis is like, you're gonna go talk to Eric. Can I come? Because like,
absolutely. And I put
Of
my arm
course,
I
no,
put
you're
my
I
a
mean,
arm
good
around him.
friend.
yeah, that's what I
I
mean.
put my
Like that's how he
yeah
feels about it. It's like I should probably be there, or I should
yeah
try to help.
yeah, man. I put my arm around him. I'm like, yeah, this has been a tough night, and he needs you right now, and really we need you because you're an important part of our team. So yeah, let's go
Okay.
and see if we can't help him.
You
And if
run.
you have
Yeah.
and I also say if you have questions about us, we can feel free to talk about that. At a point when we're all in private.
Okay.
But you if you have questions, you can talk to us. 'Cause,
Lewis, do you mind taking the lead on this conversation? Because I feel like, I mean, you're his friend. It sounds like he really needs you.
well, I
I
mean,
mean,
even just to sit. Why don't you sit beside him?
that.
And if he needs a little bit of help, then you can be there for him. But we can talk to him, and you
I
just be
mean,
there on his side as support.
like, I tend to be kind of can say this to himself. I tend to be kind of gloomy, but I try to like I keep things up, right? Like that's my personality. Eric, I think that's why me and Zon were good friends because he was kind of in his world and I was in my world, and
Hmm.
we
Hmm.
kind of had that thing. I also
Hmm.
sat outside the music room a lot, so I'd
Hmm.
occasionally see him on his way in and out.
Yeah, we're just gonna ask him a few questions, and we just need you to just be there with him as support. All right, just yeah, because I don't want to make you interrogate yourself because that's like the
That's
worst
very
thing that
very
you can do.
awkward for a moderator.
Yeah, no, that's awful. No, don't do that.
On the bright
Never.
side, it would be easier because he can't say anything, so he'll just be like writing things on a board, so I don't have to use two different voices.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But all right, yeah, sure. So you could between you guys, you knew that he was leaving the concert. It's not hard to find him because people want to talk to him afterwards. Uh,
Hmm.
they'll talk to basically they're talking at him like, oh, congratulations, have great concert, that sort of thing. And
Hmm.
yeah, all right. So you can kind of be like, can you? And he'll be like, yeah, that's fine. And he'll go off to the side with you guys. I assume
Hmm.
you for dramatic effect, it's a science classroom, or and there's like the big blackboard, and you guys can write on it and talk about
Hmm.
what needs to be talked about. He'll sit down nervously, and it's like a flashback to the Lizard Man sequence, and then he'll sit down, and then your friend will sit down next to him. So
Hmm. First off, that was awesome, man. You're a really talented musician, and and thank you for seeing it our way because we don't want to see people get hurt. We don't want to see you get hurt or anybody in the audience. Um, but obviously you're in pain and you're dealing with things that are hard, and we'll do what we can to help. Um, there's some breakthroughs in science that might be able to help you to be able to learn how to communicate. Um, and yeah, so but for now we're a little bit concerned where that power came from, yours. Can you tell us? Is that something that you could tell us where it came from?
uh man, it's like that's like a horror movie cliche. He like starts like trying to like scribble stuff on the chalkboard behind it, like behind him. You rather than me writing physically out everything, which would take literally forever.
No, you
Uh,
can still say it.
okay, good. He writes first thing he writes out is it started about. This is the part that's most concerning. He goes, this started about 2 months back, and he'll like kind of like get the flashback gaze thing, and it goes, I was delivered some music that I did not know where it had come from, and so I started practicing, and I was already in a bad state. Um, while I'm very good at what I do, my family is a family of musicians, generation after generation after generation after generation. And so all they do is they train and they um, impose training on each other. So he's not only the product of like generational music, he is also the product of like probably generational inbreeding of musicians of some sort of family line. So he is not well. The one thing is his family kind of considered him a failure because of his mute thing, but because he was extremely talented, they kind of just overlook it. And so his talent is everything. That's the thing.
Is this like an emotional thing for him to be writing? I can
Oh
imagine.
yeah, he's just. But he's like, but
I don't know.
you need to know this stuff to kind of lead up to what he's getting.
Right, but it sounds like, maybe he would be uncomfortable. Could just grab him a glass of water or something?
Yeah, okay, that's fair. he is like kind of like scribbling this out.
That's not something that's easy to admit.
Now do you know how now he said now kind of get the idea of why he was saying don't understand. You need to understand what it's like. Like so it's like scribbling it out.
I now I see what you mean by prisoner. Yeah, that's not great. But there are other options, and there are ways to get out from underneath that, and so let's try to find a broader support system for you. I mean, if you love music, then that's great. But if you don't love music, then I bet there are things that you're great at, and we can explore that to help you figure that out. Because nobody should feel like music is an expression of love and emotion. It shouldn't be an expression of your servitude and feelings of slavery and guilt and whatnot. That's not cool.
So between that and the music, he kind of describes a world where his emotions got mixed up. Like he's like the music became like understanding, and he needed them to understand his music, and so that through that he could bring people together. They could understand what he was going through, and then around that time, someone approached him. He can't. Every time he tries to remember what they look like, he gets like a headache, and he's kind of like all scrambled. But basically, they're like, with this, they will know. With this, they will feel your pain. With this, and so like they handed it to them.
And it's that same music that we had found.
Yes.
Or similar music that we had found.
Similar music. Yes. So this music was something that had been floating around the campus for a while, or at least one of the sheets of it has. Somebody has been here a while and crafting this, whatever this is.
Yeah, the music is just probably one facet of it, among many other things that we're finding out.
Correct.
Maybe. Did they give you anything else? Did they give you some trinket or some source of connection to them so that you could have this power? Is there anything that they gave? Anything else that they gave you?
He like thinks about it and he goes, it's odd. It seems like they don't give you a thing. They just change it. What I mean is, I feel like that's still my viol, but it's obviously not. Like, and no problem. It's not that she got me something new. Or even say she would say they. It's that it was altered. It's different. They handed it back to me. And back to your original question, yes, he says the viol is the thing, but he says that it was his viol, but something different happened to it.
Hmm. Um, we may need to take a look at it, possibly even in private, but we will hopefully be able to give it back to you as it was, not necessarily as it is. Not damaged, just hopefully we'll be able to remove whatever the problem is, if that's okay. I mean, I'd like to think that you'd like to be done with whatever this other evil control is on you, so you can be, freer of it.
If you think that there's a way that you can bring back my original viol, then yes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we can at least look into it and see what we can figure out. Is everybody else here, or is it just me and Eddie?
Oh no, the group in general I think is here, like just sort of
Except
in the
for
science lab.
Claire.
Claire's here, well, in spirit, but she had to take a little walk.
No, I think Claire went out to because she was still upset.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yep. But anyway, what is the general your friend is, I mean, he knew that his friend Eric was messed up, but he looks at this board full of like this guy's like trauma and he goes, "Wow, that's a lot." Okay.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Lewis, do me a favor. Because he's writing it. Eric, is it okay? Could Lewis write this down so that we could, for you, not for us, but so that you could begin to kind of take some notes on this, and if we need to, we can help you, confront your family, or find someone else who might be able to help you to deal with your family, so that you can feel like you have a little bit more control in your life. And I think that what you're writing here is kind of damning, and maybe they just need to see it and realize, to help kind of pull their heads out of their own asses and realize that they need to, you
He
know what I
looks
mean?
like, yeah, I know what you're suggesting, but he looks
Mhm.
terrified. Like he's like, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't.
Well, again, I'm not saying that you're going to do it right now. I'm saying that you write this down, and you begin trying to find some way out, because it doesn't sound like this is a healthy family environment. And but you know what, you have more friends now, you have more people that you can lean on, and more people who are here to listen. However it is you have to talk, we're here to listen. And these are your words, and your music is your words, and so those things are important to you, right?
He'll
We
nod.
we want you to have a voice, whether or not that's, whatever form that takes, because ultimately, you you were right before when you were able to speak to us that it is important to be able to communicate, these things, and we all need a friend. We all need someone to be able to talk with, even if nothing changes. We want to have your back.
Okay.
Hmm.
So you're suggesting that like you guys gonna like take notes and stuff. That's fine. He'll.
Well, more so, like kind of begin a diary of his pain, of his struggle, of the things that he's dealing with, and so he can kind of look at this as like, here's the bottom, and how can I begin to have a better day every day from here on out? Kind of
Okay.
what I'm trying to impress upon him. I mean, eventually he's going to turn 18, and he's going to have more ability to get out. Maybe learning sign language is becoming, involved in a sign language community. Whatever it might be that will help him to begin to have a little bit more control in his own life.
And your friend goes, yeah, like collecting bones, and it calms me down. Like you could just, you don't, if you're not so stressed anymore, if you just, have something to keep your mind off of things. He's sort of back to himself. There's a lot of shock today. Okay, so he'll nod and he'll start writing. Well, not this instant, but he'll start the idea of it.
Hmm. Yeah, again, just something. Obviously, we don't want to leave this on the board because that would scare some people, and possibly get
See, just someone comes into the
uh,
science class, like,
yeah,
randomly, like, what the
like
hell is all this?
some people are going to get there's going to be some phone calls, and people are going to go to your parents' house, and that might not be what you want right now, but at least you have you want to have this documented for yourself, and so we can so you can start keeping record of where you're at, and hopefully you can begin to move forward and gain some control and some authority of your own life,
It was
and not let them have all of it.
it was weird because the way you could interpret it is it's not that they were abusing it. It's more like he has one purpose. He makes music for the family. That's their job. Like that's
Yeah.
you're trained to do this thing. But like
Yeah.
the drilling was severe for sure.
And the inability to communicate back. Like they don't have
Right,
now. They don't
right.
have to listen to you. They only
Right.
have to speak to you, and you have
Right,
to
exactly.
you have to do it. You have no ability to be like, well,
I don't want to
but
do that, or
I
yeah.
feel this or I feel that. Like it's so much easier to shut you down, and so like reminding him you have a way to at least communicate to yourself, and eventually you'll have a way to communicate to others.
Eric.
And hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Sorry.
You can now roll a mental roll with 2d6, please.
Oh, I was just gonna say
There is a common thread that I'm sure every player has figured out pretty close, like to around now.
I
at
have
least
no idea what you're talking
No,
Okay.
that's fine.
about. Mental, so I'm not adding anything, right?
Yep, it's a mental and 2d6.
Okay, so that's a 7.
Okay, you're something inkling. You go, okay. You go, the first person that you ran across, she was a target of bullying, and then she bullied other people. The second
Mhm.
target you ran across, was a person that was in the gardening club, who was then bullied by a group of people, and then decided to basically live in the woods. This one is
And
basically
turn
being
him
bullied by
over.
his family, and now he's like,
Uh-huh.
there's just a weird commonality thread besides the objects.
Yeah.
Just putting it
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, no, I mean and that makes sense because if you feel bullied, if you feel neglected and picked on, you become an easy target to be turned into something into a weapon. I mean that's what terrorists are.
Right. So then what's the idea? This is why the mental role comes in. The idea is that someone is
Controlling them.
someone is targeting people targeting people that are being bullied. So you could use that information any way you like. I just figured that is something you might want to think about.
Oh yeah, no, that's great. I will also ask Eric, hey, you know what? I think that you're a pretty good writer, and I think that you actually have a really amazing voice, and we could always use somebody on our in our. I mean, we have to ask Amos, I guess, but we if you want to write for the paper, and you don't have to write about music, you can write about whatever you want.
I don't think he's quite ready for that. He's got a lot of musical commitment, if you know what I mean.
It's an open invitation. If you ever write something down and you want to share it doesn't have to even be weekly. Just be whenever you've written something that you feel like would work in the school newspaper. We'll make space for it.
Okay. He'll not appreciative, but it seems like he's still hesitant to do anything but music right now. He's very still in that, not fear mode, but like he's in his own thing right now. But he's listening to you.
There's still a part of him that probably really loves music.
Yeah, no, there is.
Wants to be great at it. But there's a part of him that is,
this is
angry
also the
about
source of my pain. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. But I bet great music is going to come out of that, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. That's what his family would say all the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it must be
I
true.
wouldn't say that. I won't say that out loud.
Probably for the best.
Yeah.
Right. So you
Oh.
go ahead.
I did also want to look at the maybe be like, all right, he seemed like he was kind of okay with this. Take it aside
Yeah.
and ask Toby if he could maybe help me figure out what was going on with it.
Oh boy, that's the straight roll
Uh,
with no bonus. So go
Yeah.
ahead, ask for advice. Oh, sorry, Toby gets to appear as something because he's been
Yeah.
away long enough, and the winner is really all right. It's a white glimmery shawl with his eyes and mouth on it. So enjoy that. That's what he is.
Ugh. All right. Hey, Toby.
Hi.
I got to get you a better physical generator. So let's see. Wow, I just keep rolling sevens. So I just rolled another 7.
Oh, fantastic. 7, eh?
Yeah.
Let me just look
Yeah.
at that chart real quick. I have a feeling that's not what we wanted.
Well,
Let's see.
it's not a fail. Like
It's not a fail. It isn't, but vigilant glints the truth. Come on. Let someone protect our pool.
I guess I could have done Glint the Truth, but
No, I'm just trying to find the thing for him.
Mm-hmm.
Why is I know I've seen it before.
It's the
they
secret
touch.
guidance, right?
Yeah, seek guidance should be on that little.
Yeah, they aren't sure what is happening, but have your backs. You gain a +1 forward based on their encouragement.
Seek guidance.
okay.
Okay, so they aren't sure what happened, but you get a +1. But it's weird that I have my little glitter basic thing with all the moves on it. For some reason, I can't see seek guidance on it.
It's on the second page, on the right, on the bottom right.
Yeah, it's the very last thing.
Odd. Mine ends at power pool on the bottom right.
Oh, it's below that.
Weird. Yeah. Weird.
Okay, so it is an issue on my end. That's fine. So he doesn't know what's going on with that, but he has your back into the examination. So whatever you think, boss.
So is anybody here good? Is it only for me or is it for anybody?
What? Just
only
seek
for me.
guidance? I mean,
Yeah. No, the +1.
you're the one asking for guidance, so you're getting the +1.
Okay. I don't think anybody here is any good at mental, but
I'm good at mental.
You want to give Eddie a shot?
yeah. Can I have Hey Eddie, can we try to look at this thing and see what it is about it that's been altered, so we can figure out what we need to do to unalter it so that the evil isn't attached to it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'll look at this. Eddie will grab it. Is this like Glimpse the Truth?
Yeah, that's a glimpse of truth. That's fair because you're looking for what is changed between a regular instrument.
So can I in a sense we can do this together and which basically is just going to automatically alter my put my +1 onto what they're doing.
Okay, so you do this together is giving them a bonus. You can't give him the guidance bonus as well.
Yeah. I'm just giving them the regular +1 that we would
then
give each
Eddie
other.
would roll, and if Eddie failed, then you would get the -2 or whatever it is.
Yeah, so total that would be a 7.
Okay. I think you only get the 1. Let's see. Glimpse the truth on a 7. Hold 1. Sure. Feel free to ask me a question then.
Sure. So I'm asking about the viol.
Yeah, if in a one of those questions, but in a way that makes sense. Yeah, you don't have to go exactly to those. I feel like they're a little too restrictive. I know they're supposed to help move the story along, but it's like this isn't quite the wording.
Yeah, I know. Like who is in control here? Maybe something along those lines.
Something like that. Like, what have they done to this? You know?
Yeah.
What I mean?
What has been done? Who did this? Like,
okay.
what kind of magic is this? Who did this?
Okay. So you're like fiddling with it. He's let you do stuff with it, but he's still kind of uncomfortable, right? Because it's his instrument. But you take like to get really into it, you'd have to take like the strings off and like look around inside there. So you hesitantly, because you're not a musician, but you know mechanical stuff, so this is good. You're like, twist the knobs and unwind the thing so you're not breaking anything, and you look on in there, and you do see some sort of like a shard or some sort of crystalline thing on the inside that's kind of like cling to the inside of it.
Hmm. Okay. This is unusual. This is most unusual.
Do you want to touch that with your bare hands? I don't know. It's up to you.
Um,
Oh, here it is.
does it
Do
smell?
you
Does
point
it
at?
like, is
Do you
there a
point at?
smell to it?
Well, Eddie's got his head kind of in it, so it's not like you can
Yeah.
really. I mean, you're cooperating, so I guess he's kind of like looking over your shoulder, right? But like, um, I'm sorry, was there a smell? No, it's not that kind of thing. It doesn't smell like anything in particular. It's
Okay.
rocks. Rocks don't really emanate smell.
Unless
Um,
it's sulfur, I guess. I don't know.
it doesn't smell demonic or something. It just looks like it's a crystal, but it's like growthed itself to the inside of the instrument.
Okay. Yeah, I think I found the problem. And he says out loud,
There was probably something similar in the other objects as well. It's just that like if it's inside a dog collar bell or something, you probably had to have like taken it apart, and nobody bothered to
yeah.
really like do that. You know?
Mm.
Okay.
No,
So
what do you see, Eddie?
There's some sort of crystal in here. Can I see the color? Is it too dark?
yeah, no, it's slightly luminescent, right? So you're getting like it's like a reddish kind of crystal, and it's got like little spidery kind of veiny things that are into the inside of the viol.
I mean, it's kind of cool looking, but it's some sort of crystalline structure.
Some kind of evil in there.
It doesn't belong in a viol anyway. I can't imagine it would have a good impact on the acoustics.
Would be shimmering brighter, except somebody gave the energy back to the stupid audience. No, okay. But currently it is sort of just dimly like bloop.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something not right about this crystal in here.
I just had a thought. What if we get everybody together who has been negatively impacted by, magical items, and see if there's a common denominator between them. I mean, maybe we could ask them questions, or maybe just things that they say will spark something in someone's memory that could help us pinpoint who the common denominator is.
You think maybe they've all seen the same person, that kind of thing?
I mean,
Well, I think that someone giving them something, giving them, somehow giving them whatever this thing is the common denominator. They can never
right.
remember who that person is, but maybe if we get the three of them together, and maybe we could all like sit and hold hands, and I could try to use my telepathic ability to generate some kind of, I don't know, something. Who
Eddie,
knows?
only Eddie. Eddie,
Yeah.
you can make a mental roll, but I'm not gonna tell you why, and I'll put my
All right.
hand down.
Yeah,
What do you
well,
get?
all right. I'm thinking like or actually I was wondering earlier whether or not these kind of when he said he couldn't remember,
Yeah,
whether or not he can actually manipulate those images. But I'm gonna roll that mental.
yeah, that's fair. I feel
Um
like that's fair. I mean, you're getting an inkling of what you could try to do, but you'd have to. Yeah, I would say that's still a roll to be like, wait a minute, can I
yeah,
do
can
something
I do
like?
that? Like, okay. Wasn't the best roll, but
Fine.
it's mental.
Okay.
So that is a 7.
Okay, that's fine because I'm saying plus the idea that you as a player have like an idea. You're like, Well, you can't. His telepathy doesn't work on them. Like you can't. It's not that it works for your team. It's your
Right,
team's
yeah, yeah.
telepathy. But if you put them under the knife, so to speak, you could probably scrub through their memories to look to see
Exactly.
where the
Okay.
damage was.
Yeah.
But you don't
Like
know what you'll get from that. You'll
some
just
sort of psychic detective or something.
you basically would have to be like, okay, if I could get them in the right place and play the music and then do the thing, I could scrub through their memories to look for that very specific memory. But who knows what the hell you'll find there?
There is a what okay, not Amos. Sorry.
That's fine. Names have been weird to me today too. Go ahead.
Is it Dean?
Dean's the bird guy, so if you're thinking him, then yes.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Dean, there is something we could do. It's possible I might be able to help identify this some commonality there. But it I think this is something that they would have to consent to.
Well, no, I think that's perfectly acceptable. I think that what we should do is bring everybody together under the guy, not guys, but we're gonna have a powwow, and then explain why like we're gonna be upfront with everybody. We'll explain why we're bringing everybody together because somebody tampered with something that they own or possess or gave them something that they didn't want, and it influenced their behavior. And I think I think if we get everybody together, we could you know jog our memory or jog their memories. Maybe even though they can't remember who that person is, maybe they will, by being together, they'll remember something, some piece of information that could help us uh, locate whoever is behind all this.
So are we out of the room? Is this like are we talking privately
I
now?
feel like you guys haven't said you left the science lab, so I assume you guys are like still kind of milling about in there.
Yeah,
Like maybe like off
I
to like
want to
one
take
side.
I want to take us aside, like take Dean aside like a little bit here.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, this that definitely makes sense. I mean, I just don't have I just don't have the wits about me to this is definitely a private conversation.
yeah. And so, Eddie will take Dean aside, just like there's there's something I can do, Dean. I can check. This is something that's within my powers to be able to scrub through their memories, but this is that's a serious thing. I don't, I don't want to I don't suggest this lightly. Um so we'll have to talk about this. But it is at this point, it's becoming it wasn't just one case, this wasn't just two cases at three times, this isn't a coincidence anymore. And it seems like this might be a problem. Like we seems like we're dragged into all sorts of issues today. And we might be able to find a culprit, it might help someone else before it
Yeah.
becomes, our
It also
investigation
it also
here.
it also seems like each instance is escalating.
Yeah, no, I'm not, this is not acceptable. And if we ask, if we, I'm sure that,
I think if we're honest and upfront and explain the gravity of the situation, that it's only getting worse and it's only going to get more serious, I think I think people will be willing to help out.
yeah, no, you're right. This is yeah. No, you're right, Dean. And Eddie will like come back and be like, all right, uh yeah, yeah, I don't know. We'll rejoin the group, I guess, after that.
Okay. This is something I had set up for like a session plus ago. It's fine. All right. So everybody gathers back up. Um, and so you guys had your little powwow. What is the next step from here?
Good question.
You
Did we
can.
have anything planned for the rest of the day? Like, this is what
This
time is
this was the end of the day. Like you had your day, and then the concert was basically after
it?
school.
Right.
So the school will eventually will close if you guys stay in this room long enough, for sure.
Yeah, okay. Guess we'll just have to meet up another day.
Okay. Yeah, your new friend, um, Eric will be like, okay, well, he doesn't say anything, but he looks like, I gotta go, kind of face. And his other friend looks at him, like, that's fine. It looks like Eric is going to leave. Do you guys do anything else with his deal, or what's the situation with that?
We'll
Um,
move to.
Or are you guys gonna hold on to that longer? Be like, oh well, we need to hold on to this. He could communicate that his family has more instruments. Like it's his favorite, but he has stuff he can practice with at home if you need to examine it longer.
yeah, I think we should. I think we need to hold on to this because we're afraid that if if we don't, that whatever is connected to it might try to hurt you or bring you back under its spell or something, and that we can't risk this happening to you again.
Okay. He'll hesitantly let you keep it for the moment, and then he looks like he just needs to go, like time wise. Like I don't.
Mhm.
He's a weird dude. He probably pulls out a legitimate pocket watch and looks at it, and then looks at you guys and go like, "Yeah, I gotta go," and then Wood leaves. It's like he had a. He looks at him like it was like a gold watch with like little inlay and stuff. Like he just pulled it out of like it was casual and he put it back into his stuff. Okay, that was a little odd. Your friend. That coming from the guy that plays with bones. Well, oh, whatever.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah, he's gonna probably excuse himself too. Maybe he'll talk to his friend in the hall, but he's gonna go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What's the?
Um,
Yeah, go ahead. So now you
yeah,
lot are standing around.
I don't really know what we want to do at this point, but uh, yeah, let's take this someplace.
What time
I'm
is
gonna
it?
put it in the case.
Well, the after school thing happened probably about like 5, 6 o'clock. So it's probably like 7:30, 8 o'clock. You guys spend a lot of time talking, fiddling around with stuff. So it is
Okay.
night,
Hmm.
but like they haven't quite locked the doors. You know what I mean? Like there's still after school stuff, but they will soon.
Can someone remind me what the timeline is, in terms of the aliens and like,
What?
sorry,
Oh,
I'm
sorry. I could tell you. So, do you mean today's date, or like what do you mean
like
exactly?
how many days we had to resolve that
This is.
situation.
Oh, you had till Wednesday. It is currently by my last check Monday.
Okay.
The family will then bring their kid to a sanitarium after Wednesday because this kid is unwell.
Yes.
So
Hmm.
in game it is Wednesday, and I can tell you what day it is because it is in my notes. As soon as I skim to the bottom of them, I think it's the 17th, but don't quote me yet. Yeah, okay, it is Monday, the October the 16th, 1995.
Cool.
Yep. All right. So yeah, bunch of people standing around a science room with a broken viol.
Is it broken?
I mean, it's not broken. You just disarmed it, I guess, is the best way to put it. Like you haven't put
Hmm.
the strings back, I assume. So it's just sort of there with no
Oh yeah,
strings.
yeah, that's true. Okay.
Luckily, it was Eddie that took the strings off, and not one of you guys. He probably would have snapped him because like
Yeah.
he actually works with machines, so he has to be kind of delicate. So it's like,
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, sure.
uh,
Um, Yeah, I think we take this back someplace and see if we can't get that the gem out, and then we can give it back to him at that point, because then it'll be safe and we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I've been collecting equipment so that we can hopefully communicate with the, oh gosh, what are the aliens' names?
The Yithians.
Yithians, before our deadline on Wednesday. So
I believe you also guys came up with a plan B for how that would go, which is if they don't communicate with us, we're gonna stick them into a room that was very, very quiet,
deprivation chamber, yeah.
very, very
A
quiet,
makeshift deprivation chamber.
and just
Yeah.
basically info starve them to death, which
Yeah.
sounds unpleasant.
I mean,
Sounds
some.
unpleasant, but you know, it's probably better than the alternative.
Yeah. When somebody's stuck in your head, that doesn't sound great either.
Well, no, they're in her head, but also from the descriptions you've got, they're currently on the Yithian world or whatever, doing whatever. So
Mhm.
it's an exchange program, more of an exchange program, less of a parasite problem. It's not a parasite exactly. Anyway, it's still
Yeah.
not her. That's the important part.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, think of it this way: some Yithian has to have her in them. There you go. It's a swap.
Yeah. I guess that's one way to look at it. Sure.
Anyway,
Um,
so yeah, daylight is a burning. Actually, there is no daylight at this point. It's about 8 o'clock. What is the plan?
Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like that was everything. This probably was supposed to take longer. Game. La,
No, there's other things you could investigate and do. Believe me, I got a list right here. If you really want me to go through them, I just want to know what specifically you guys wanted to do.
yeah. I mean, if you have, unless nobody has an idea, we could always listen to your
Sure.
It's
suggestions.
been kind of it's been a month.
I got some stuff. One, there are 7 wonderful wonders in this place that you could look into. Since you're in a school at night. If you particularly want to go, if you want to do the spooky route of just exploring the school at night, looking at to see if any of these things still exist. There is other stuff going on with. Let me check some of the other things. Nobody wants to go to the beach in the middle of the night, right? To see if the deep ones live there. Oh, sorry, rum runners. If the rum runners live there.
I
That
mean,
sounds like a sketchy thing to do.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, I'm not opposed to that, but I don't. Yeah, whatever.
And the other answer is you guys could just literally pass the night and come in the next day and decide to do what other things you wish to do. But I'm giving you some options, you know?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. You went to the concert, you dealt with the concert situation, it is the end of the school day. You could just go home, rest up, get your levels or whatever, start the next day, or we could just do something else. It's up to you.
I don't know. I'm feeling kind of beat. I think I'm gonna head home and catch some Z's.
Yeah,
I'm
that's not
gonna calibrate some of my equipment at home.
not a terrible idea.
Okay. So the party basically disbands and heads home.
Yeah.
Not every night has to be an exciting monster hunt. It just All right. So everybody sort of heads home. We'll go kind of in order. Eddie, I assume, has ordered some of these parts and is tinkering.
Well,
getting
ordered
ready.
some of them, but like some of them are actually really expensive. So I assume that he's like getting in touch with people he knows.
Now, I get that. The question is, though, you also have a person that could create things from thin air, as long as you can tell them what it
Well,
is.
Peacekeeper is one of those people.
Well, that's true. Peacekeeper can make some of those things. Oh, I see. I get what you're getting at. Okay, that's fair. But that's gonna basically be the rest of your night, so that's easy.
Yeah.
Derek, what are you doing?
I think Derek's just gonna go home,
Yeah.
and I think that he's the one who's probably gonna end up taking the viola. Maybe,
All right.
I don't know, unless somebody else wants to take it. But he's gonna take the viola and just try to tinker around with getting that thing loose, so he can eventually get it out of the viola.
Oh, okay.
Um,
You're gonna mess with it. Fantastic.
uh,
How are you
yeah,
messing with it?
I'm not gonna touch it necessarily, but I'm just gonna try to find a way to shake that thing loose and get it out. And
Okay, that's fine.
yeah.
You shaking the viola does nothing physical to
No,
it.
no,
Okay.
I don't mean necessarily shake it, but I mean like tinkering it, like hitting not hitting the viola, but hitting the gem with like tongs and anything else, like any
Okay. Sure.
hooked tool that I could get in there to.
First off, I want you. Let's see, what's the best way to do this? All right, first roll a mental. So the
Uh-huh.
2d6 in mental, that's the good one, I think.
Uh-huh. Hey, hold on, wash your hands, buddy. Sorry, I'm just dealing with something.
No, that's fine.
Here, wash your hands.
You chose the more volatile situation. You said I'm gonna go mess with it.
Yeah. Wait. Hey, can you do Dean first, and I gotta deal with something here.
Sure, no problem. Dean, what are you doing when you get home? Or when you get back? Dean. Uh-oh. Have we lost Dean? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make it big boring. You guys decided to negotiate again, which is fine.
No,
I'm okay with
I'm
that.
sorry. I didn't unmute myself. So Dean's down a few hit points.
Okay.
He's had a rough day.
Fair.
I mean, he legitimately just wants to go home and get in bed and turn the TV on and
Just curls into bed.
watch some late night horror movies and just take it easy and rest up. I mean, he's not going to go to sleep, but he's probably watching Night of the Living Dead.
That's okay. That's fine. I just was just checking in. Um, hmm. Eddie, in your working on tools and ordering things, and since you said you were going to mention you're talking to Peacekeeper, right? Is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
okay?
that is happening.
You open a communication to Peacekeeper. You have probably their radio frequency or something, and they'll acknowledge your signal,
Yeah.
and they'll be like, "Heard things went kind of bad at the school today. How how'd that pan out?"
Oh, we've got a third artifact, it seems.
Oh, you captured it.
Yeah, we
That's
have
good.
this one.
Good. Um, well, that's good. They usually detonate, as far as I can tell.
There seemed to be some sort of crystalline structure. I don't know how much you know about this.
Um, not a lot, but I assume it's some sort of collection device. The thing is, it actually has to have energy within it for them to actually be able to detonate it, it seems. So because it was released prematurely, it wasn't able to be exploded.
Right. Well, we still don't really. I was thinking of investigating. Well, we're thinking of investigating actually to see, um, how the artifacts have come into the possession of their, uh, how they've actually been created. Maybe if there's some common link, someone met the,
Mhm.
handed off the artifact or whatnot. Anyway, it seems like we're in agreement that that's how we'll be moving forward. Whether or not it's going to pan out is.
Oh, I do think that they, at least according to the reports I have are escalating as well as I thought was might happen. Um, so there'll be a slight pause in the voice, and it'll be like, so I think we're going to have to start dealing with these things more head on before they become out of control. And if things do get to that point, you do have an option still. At least you'll get like, you remember that there's like a little box with a red button on it that you
Yeah,
have. It goes,
the
if you have to use it, but know that that should only be like the last resort for you to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. As for
What we're
the
lacking deeply is information, so that's what we're working on.
the only information I could give you is that if they're this desperate, that is both bad and good, right? That means that you guys are succeeding at a rate that they did not expect, but also that means that they are not going to be subtle anymore. Like, I have a feeling that the next ones that they send are probably going to be much more dangerous, rather than this one seemed to be a mass gathering. You know what I'm saying? Like, this one was meant to gather a vast amount of energy, but in a much more subtle way, such like the other ones. Like, the other one would seem like a crime, like somebody is just taking their vengeance out on someone. My guess is they might stick to more brutish tactics in the future. That's my opinion, since they've already exhausted other options.
Understood. Okay. I'll keep that in mind, and I'll let everyone else know. About that equipment that I had talked to you
Yeah,
about before.
sorry. Yeah, I do have this most of it ready. A couple of it will take probably like half a day for me to get the components.
Well, that's great, actually. That's great news.
Um, did you tell Peacekeeper what you needed this stuff for, or are you just letting the order down line? Like, I just out of curiosity, they'll give it to you
Oh,
anyway.
oh, the other people?
Yeah, you never. I don't think you ever told Peacekeeper what you need this stuff for, but that's fine.
Oh no, I can well, I think I probably would have at least mentioned that we needed it to communicate with the Yithians.
Oh, you're gonna talk to the aliens. That's interesting. Yeah, no, I got it. I have most, like I said, I have most of it ready. Reminder that anytime you hear Peacekeeper talk, they still talk with the weird
With the
doctor
yeah,
with
the
spacesuit, but
Vocaloid.
vocal more like Daft Punk, like
Oh
they
yeah, the vocalizer, I
faster
mean.
code. Yeah, vocalizer.
Vocalizer.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I have the stuff ready. Again, the rest will be ready in about half a day. Um, okay. As for information, what would you need exactly? Like, I know some of the older lore to this situation, but nothing really recent. You know what I mean? I don't know the culprit's name or who they are, you know? I assume that there is definitely someone within the school that is causing this problem. I could put my money on that for the fact that all the people that have been targeted are from the school. Without, like, if it was an external thing, then like, how would they know so much about the students? It doesn't
Yeah,
make
no,
any sense.
that doesn't logically make any sense. You're right.
But as for who it is, God, there's dozens of faculty, staff, and other people involved. You know what I mean? Not necessarily directly involved, but they're that involved in these students every day. So I have no idea out of that pool who it could be, with the exclusion of a couple. But regardless, that's a little side joke for him. Catch it. All right. Well, anything else?
No, 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 I'm kind of busy here, just working with what you gave me already. And I also get to get to sleep at some point.
All right. You could hear them working also on other stuff. I mean, they place the order and they're doing that, but they're definitely like floating things around. You can't hear it exactly. You just sort of like, whoosh noises and things are being drilled. And all right, well, good night then. And
Good
signs off,
night.
does the sign out.
Yeah.
Okay. Derek?
I can't be super long because I have to deal with something.
Okay.
But I think Derek would, play around with it for a little while. If he can't get the thing out, he would probably just give up and go to sleep.
Okay. So
So I don't know.
we don't want to do it as like rolls because you don't have a lot of time. So
Yeah, no, I need to go put the little guy to bed. He's feeling a little bit ill right now. So
okay.
if I can get back on before 11, I'll check to see if you guys are still playing. But I'm gonna actually just get off right now, and I'll come back to it later. Sorry.
Okay, no, it's much more ominous to say, I fiddle around with the viol and see if I can do anything with it, and then you just go offline, and then we'll come back
Yeah.
to what happened.
Yeah. All right. Bye, everybody. I'll talk to you later.
Yep. Talk to you later.
Yeah, bye.
Okay. So yes, Derek attempts to work with the viol and then disappears. All right. Dean, how you doing?
Good. He's feeling a little restless. Like he wants to fall asleep, but he can't.
Okay. I mean, after a while, you probably will fall asleep because you were beaten up and stuff. I would assume nothing really strange happens to you. You're not messing with a magical artifact. You're not building anything. You're probably just gonna go to bed, more than likely. So here's my quandary at this point. We are down two of the people we started with. We're down Claire and we're down Derek. So that becomes I don't know how low you guys want to go with just the two people we have, which that's up to you guys. I have plenty of things we could explore.
Oh,
Uh,
that's
did-
fun. Yeah,
okay.
but
I just figured I don't know if you want to do anything too serious when you are down a bunch of people.
yeah.
But we could go to the next morning because they both of your things just basically take up your night, and then you're gonna go
Yeah,
the next day.
I'm assuming Eddie has to even climb on the roof to like set this stuff up.
Oh, you're setting this up at home?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? It's a split, right? It's one family member's probably like, what are they doing on the roof? They're gonna fall off, and the other one's, well, at least he's interested in getting outside or something. you know. So yeah, I picture the mother's like, he's on the roof playing with stuff, and then the father's like, at least he's outside.
Well, this is probably not the first antenna Eddie's set up.
No, I'm not saying they're not preventing you from it, but
Yeah, but it's
one grumbles and the other one's like, well, at least he's going outside. You know,
yeah. But
set
it's
this
like
head up on
several
her.
several antennas that are just like, it's a growing collection because there's this one, long dipole that's like, hung across some trees
Well,
in the yard.
the father will lean out the window and say something like, "If you're up there, can you fix the other one, like the actual TV antenna? Because he's already out. He's already out
And he's like,
on
"Oh
the roof."
yeah, sure. Like, do you mind turning that on so I can like
Okay.
adjust the to get better reception or whatever?"
He turns on the football game and it like swirls a bit, and he's like, "No, more to the left."
Yeah, I've done that before. Okay. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I've done that." All
Okay,
right.
that's fine. He's allowing you to be up there because you fixed the thing. He's like, okay, in his mind, he's doing a useful thing. He's fixing the antenna. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so that's that. That's your night basically, and then Dean just sleeps. All right, so Dean can recover his health from, and it's basically anybody who is. It's a whole day, so you're basically gonna be resting the rest of the day. No, you're not going one scene to another. Um, and it will be Tuesday morning.
Woo.
Tuesday morning. What's the plan? Back to class?
Tuesday morning, so gotta get to school somehow.
Gotta get to school somehow. Oh yeah, you have a real problem getting being late. Like your character's never late. Um. All right. So Tuesday morning, gotta get to school somehow. Dean, let me just check something real quick. Anybody say anything? Super awkward. All right, there we go. All right, what plans do we have for today? We'll start with Dean. Dean, what are your plans for today? It is now Tuesday morning. The deadline for your friend's recovery is Wednesday. Um, and it seems like you've lost communication with half your friends for some reason.
Um, it's a school day, right?
Yep, still a school day. Same
Okay.
old school schedule. No big event planned today, as far as you know. And yeah,
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna he would know you had mentioned earlier about there being he would know about the rum runners, right?
the Rum Runners. Yeah, well, it's been mentioned in the news clipping about the rum runners. Yep.
Oh, this was from the past, right? This is
Right. This it isn't real recent. It is like at least like 40 or 50 years old news of like rum runners that were over by by a specific beachhead in town.
all right. Well, he's gonna go to school, just so he can be marked present in homeroom, and his parents won't get a phone call that he didn't show up at school. But then, as soon as possible, he's gonna ditch school.
And go visit the rum where the rum runners were last spotted.
Yeah, I think he's gonna go take a flight over there and kind of scope the place out. And he's just bored. He wants to sort of in a way distract himself from what's going on, but do it in a productive kind of way where maybe he'll turn up some new evidence or something. Maybe he'll see something fun and unusual and have a great day. Otherwise, maybe he'll see something that could be beneficial to what's going on.
Let me check some stuff. All right, so you're gonna go there, and then what is Eddie gonna do today?
Eddie, well, Eddie's not one to skip school normally. But he's a little tired. I imagine that he would wake up he would kind of miss his alarm probably because he was kind of late like up late last night trying to
Yeah.
get that stuff set up.
Gotcha.
So he probably gets up like after his alarm clock and then he realizes he's like, oh God, I gotta run. And he might honestly transform to get to school and then try to look nonchalant, like transform back before he gets in the building and try to look nonchalant about it.
just use your magic powers to get to school. Sounds good.
Yeah. He's gonna use his magic powers to get to school today. I think that's where he's at.
Well, luckily, you're not really like how should I put this? You're not. It's not like you're dealing with a threat or anything. So it's pretty much like automatic that you'll probably succeed. So I'm not gonna make you roll on that. So you just sort of shift into one form, and then you roll. You roll to the school grounds or near the school grounds. You shift back. You've learned though that like with the objects, like how things like you have to like kind of like cradle the object so it doesn't like the strap doesn't rip off when you
Yeah, exactly.
super
He's got to
speed.
pull his backpack, like
Yeah.
move with his backpack.
Let's see something. I know that there's a plot thread that I need to focus back on. Here it is. Close with Nessie. Yeah. I'm just doing a little bit of upkeeping here. Okay. Yeah. All right. So you see Claire come across the quad to the front area of the school. She'll greet you, but it seems like her greeting is a little different from usual, and then she'll walk past you.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay, yeah. Oh no. All right. Yeah, I get it. Claire.
Claire's here, yeah.
And Claire's here.
All right. So you're gonna enter your school day. Let's see. I don't know who to go with first. Oh no, so you'll see him in your homeroom. So you go to homeroom and you see Dean there, and then Dean says something silly because that's what Dean does. He says, "Oh, I need to go use the restroom or something." Like,
I'm like, oh yeah, right, Dean.
He goes to the homeroom, right? He waits for the homeroom teacher to leave. He goes, "Oh, I'm gonna go use the restroom or something," and then I don't know if it skims his way out, right, Dean?
I'm gonna go. I gotta go drain the lizard, but I'm thinking about doing it at the beach.
That's a
I'm gonna go pee on the beach. Hey, I'm gonna skip school. I'm gonna ditch this place. You want to go?
This is like Eddie's like, what?
he's like, don't you have I don't know what? Eddie honestly looks shocked, like doesn't know how to like is like hasn't considered this. before.
Have you never skipped school before?
Eddie's like, I've been sick.
That's not skipping school. I bet you've never snuck into a theater either.
Uh,
So you go to school and you pay for all your movies. What fun is that?
I don't pay for my movies. My parents pay for my movies.
Fair point. Come on, let's get out of here.
What am I feeling like Eddie's the guy that has like the scrambled cable box? Like, it's like, oh, well, I got all the channels. It's like a weird like bootleg box that he built in his garage. All the channels are mine now.
Oh no. There are a lot of like bootleg pirate channels. I bet he just watches all the pirate channels.
Probably does. Okay. So, well, let's see. We could handle Dean's adventure first if we want to. Because you
Are
don't
you
seem to.
going or not? Because I'm leaving.
I honestly, Dean, I'm tired. So, but wait, we don't have the mental communication link, do we?
No.
Eddie,
Yeah, that is an interesting point.
Eddie
For the
would
moment,
probably take out a walkie or something and hand it to Dean and be like,
so
you have any trouble?
I will. Oh yeah, I don't want to control somebody who's not here. Yeah, apparently not. It is down for the moment.
All right, yeah, Eddie will grab a walkie and hand it to Dean and be like,
What range? What range does this have? Is this? I mean,
it has a range of about 28 miles.
oh, okay.
But don't tell anyone I gave you this.
Wow. Okay. My lips are sealed.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Nick was in a different class. I was about to say, no one bothers to talk to Nick about what his problem was yesterday, but that's fine. Anyway, we'll cut to Dean because he sneaks out and he heads towards the beach, and we'll have a little cute moment there, I'm sure. Dean, you sneaking out of school. You don't have any like magical powers to like become invisible or something. You're gonna have to actually physically sneak out of the class and like outside, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it.
Unless I mean you could turn into a bird and like bust out a window or something, but I mean I'm just checking. So
No,
okay.
I want to try to be discreet about this. I'm gonna try to sneak out.
Okay. So then it is a regular good old physical roll because you were sneaking out of the school.
Okay.
Do 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 do. I'm gonna laugh if a hall monitor catches you. I really am.
I rolled an 11.
Jesus. For once, your sneak is actually good. It's not like the one where you were actually saying just sneak, sneak, sneak as you walked. All right. You managed to escape the hall monitors and that sort of thing, and didn't run into any teachers. And you quietly exit the back door, and you proceed towards the beach on foot. Fly.
Where is the beach? Like because I'm visualizing like the ocean.
Right. Well, so you have to head towards the coast, obviously.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I just
let
want to
me
make
look
sure.
at my wonderful map and get an idea of where that might be. I should at some point do a full map, but like I don't have the skills. I can give you generalizations. Let's see. Where would that be next to? Okay. And then that's got it. So the mountains so it's in the opposite direction of where the mountain section would be, because that would be up incline. So you want to head. Let me look at where. Trying to keep things all in my head, map wise. Okay, so that's the north. So you head basically to the coastline, away from the mountains, because the mountains are to your back. So there'll be a mountain range here, that there. Man, I really do gotta sketch that out now. All right, it's fine. You head towards the coast.
Okay.
It's still gonna take you a little while, even flying as a bird. It'll take you about 10, 15 minutes probably to fly there.
How far from the coast are we?
It is like basically I played it as a Massachusetts kind of town, so you're not that far from the coast. Like you're a decent distance, but it's not like, like a very hard to get there, you know?
Oh, okay.
I pictured it as a small town with like some medium-sized mountains behind it, right? And, like kind of on the coast of like the New England coast and like a clay strip. So it's like it's near the ocean, but it's not like on top of it, you know?
Okay.
You are a coastal city. It's just not like right on top. All right. So with some time, like I said, 15, 20 minutes. That seems about right. Because you're flying. If we walking, it'd probably take much longer. You get to the beach, and what do? Investigate. So,
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna like circle over it a couple times and make sure, I'm alone.
okay.
Um, you know, I'm gonna just take a look around and see if there's anything of interest. Would imagine that's gonna be a role.
Yep. That is going to be your. I don't know. Deciding if it's a physical for that or not. No, no. It's just glimpse of truth. Go ahead. Mental and
Okay.
dice. Physical
Okay.
for other stuff, not for this. So.
Okay, just a second here. Sorry to keep you. I rolled a 12. That's 11 plus 1.
All right. So let's see. You can ask me questions that aren't even on the list. So let's see. So you got 3 of those, right? Yes, the GM question is not on the list. Okay. So you have 3 of those. What question do you want?
I can ask you 3 of these.
Yeah. I assume you still the hold still carries. It says 12 plus. You guess GM question is not on the list. So literally ask me.
Okay. Um. There's. Hold on. Let me think for a second.
Sure. Now remember that this article is from like the 20s and 30s. Like that's the time period we're talking about here. Like late
Right.
1920s.
Um. All right. So this isn't my question. This is a question I think I should be able to ask regardless of this. This
Okay.
this beach is this beach that I've gone to, like, is it like in use, or is it overgrown, or like, so this isn't my question. This is just like, what do I see?
Okay. Well, before we get to the glimpse of truth, the beach is mostly deserted. It's not like overgrown and covered in filth, but it is like kind of disused. It's not the right season. Maybe in the summer that people would come here, But overall, it looks like a section of the beach that isn't used very often and really not used that often in the winter, or near the winter.
Okay. All right.
So it's not like no one goes here. It's just that like it's the lesser used part of the beach during a off season.
Okay. Uh, um,
As for people around, there doesn't seem to be like uh people party. It's the middle of the day, right? So
mhm.
it's not really populated, even by people that like just like sit out on the beach and drink.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the beach, and it looks like it's not, it's um it's not in use, but do I see anything that would indicate that there has been a presence here recently?
Okay, so you're asking, has there been a presence here recently?
Yes.
You have to get down from the height you're at, kind of. You have to get a little closer. But you do notice that there is some foot traffic for a beach that's disused, and the foot looks like about your like it looks like a foot, like a human foot, except for the fact that it's about 2.5 bigger and a little bit longer, and maybe like there's something between the feet, between the toes, maybe. So like it's more like a very large duck went through here. It's a large duck. So if you're
Are there any caves or natural structures that
you think that
someone or something could seek shelter?
with your second question, it seems like if you follow kind of where the duck prints are, they go off um, to the left hand side, and there is like an entrance to what looks like not necessarily a cave, like a big cave system, but there is like a gap, like in the sand, over in that area. So there it seems to be like a slight opening where you could probably get, if you dug down, you could get into.
I want to take. I want to fly in closer and take a closer look.
Okay. It looks like some sort of either probably like a natural cave or something like that. You know how like when you're on the beach, you'll have these areas where it's like it's not like a full out cave system. It's like a dip down. It's like that. It's like where like there's some natural erosion that's created an entrance over there.
Okay. Can I? Is it large enough for me to enter?
It looks large enough for you to enter the cave. As for what to do here, I don't know. But you could, looks like you could get yourself down in there. Kind of like slide down the gap, you know, and go underneath.
I'm gonna take out my
Okay.
my walkie-talkie and radio Eddie. Eddie.
Oh boy. So someone's radioing you in the middle of class.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
really awkward.
so hold
But
on. I'm trying to think. I want you. We've been using that as luck. So basically the magical stat plus 2d6, so you don't like
oh
have your
god.
walkie-talkie go in the middle
Yeah, oh
middle of
god.
class.
This could be fun. Hold on.
Eddie, I found something. Over.
All right. Oh gosh. All right, that's 3.
Okay, so that now you can mark one of your things as a fail. Uh,
Yeah.
you being the kind of person you are, you had your volume up so that you could, in case something came through, you would be able to hear it. Well, so you hear Eddie, I think I found something. It's just like it echoes through the through the room.
Okay.
I assume this is such a low roll. It's probably like one of those moments where like everyone's really quiet and listening to something, and then like it just echoes through the room, and people are
Oh gosh.
like, where is that? The teacher like looks around me like, what is that? Eddie, you gotta hear me.
Yeah, I'll be like, excuse me, and then Eddie will just literally just duck out of the classroom or try to.
Why do I picture it was like awkward beat red? Like me, like I gotta go and use the restroom or something.
Just like no, it's like in the bag, right? But it's loud.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's just like, excuse me, just ducks out like I don't feel so well.
I just picture like one of the other kids like, okay. I just picture one of the other kids being like, what the hell? So it looks like Dean's gonna be right back. Actually, this is probably a good time for me to take a restroom break since he's gonna be right back too. Just give me a second. I'll be
Of
right
course.
back.
right.
All right, I'm back. Is Dean back, or is he still here?
Doesn't seem like Dean's back yet.
All right. So we're literally wow, this is super awkward. Okay. How you doing? Having a good time? Sorry that everybody seems to be, stuff happens.
No,
So,
I get it. I get it.
um so yeah.
But yeah, Eddie's awkwardly like, oh gosh.
The only thing that I can do as a moderator is at this point when it comes down to like one player like this is just like people like you walking around awkwardly with your backpack trying to find a place to like answer your phone call while like random students will look at you and probably even like maybe Nicholas will bump into you in the hallway and be like what's going on. He sees you grabbing your bag and like looking for a
Okay,
spot to hide.
okay, I'm trying to keep everyone straight because it's been a while.
That's fine.
Nicholas, what happened to Nicholas yesterday?
Nicholas said something because it was a busy day. That was a lot going on. Nicholas said that while you were busy doing what you were doing, he was fighting rats in the hallway.
Oh yeah. Well, that's unfortunate. And is Nick the one who was into cameras?
No, Nicholas was the guy who lived in the woods.
He lives in the woods.
Yeah, there was a guy that was living in the woods and then became your squire, basically became the group's squire.
Oh,
And so
okay.
the
Yeah.
reason
Oh gosh, yeah.
the reason why he was not able to come to the fight, again, a lot was going on, is he was fighting rat things running around the school, which is an odd thing. It's never quite happened before, but no, there's a lot going on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hi, Chris.
Nick. Nick. Well, oh, thanks. It looks like Dean's back, but that's fine. We can still have this interaction going on. Dean, you were saying something?
Eddie, I told you you should have come with me.
Comes
think I found something.
echoing from your bag. You haven't taken it out yet.
Yeah.
Oh, is that Dean on the line?
Yeah, that's Dean. He's not here right now.
Oh.
Hey,
Oh,
where are you?
he's gonna get in
Are you
trouble.
there?
Wait, aren't you in class?
Eddie, how soon can you get? How soon can you get to the beach?
Why are
The
you at the
beach?
beach?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'd be like, did you really go to the beach, Dean?
I'm at the yeah. I'm not doing a polar plunge. This isn't fun. I mean, that would be fun, but maybe like 4 months ago would have been a blast. But listen, can you? I think I found something.
Okay, okay.
I think I found a cave, but I don't think I should go in it alone.
Well, I don't recommend that you do that. Is this something we need to investigate, or you just like beach caves?
You know, I don't know anymore. I mean, beach caves sound cool, but I feel like every corner I turn, there's some bizarre supernatural force at work, and it requires our attention. I don't know. This might not be anything.
I would say that you're paranoid, but lately I'm beginning to that's beginning to make more sense to me.
Hey, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean that they're not after you.
Fair point. Is sorry, not Chris. Is Nick still there?
Oh yeah, Nick's still there. Because you're standing there with a bag that's. Oh, you two are taking it out of the bag if you're talking to him. So
Yeah, but I'm holding this kind of like obviously holding kind of a like bulky item.
Yeah. All right, so Nick's kind of a rational character. So let me get this straight. Dean is on the beach, looking at a cave, and he wants you to skip school to go look at the cave. Is that what we're getting at?
That seems to be what we're getting at, Nick.
Oh, okay. Good night.
I mean, come on, it's a field trip to the beach. Let's go.
All right, Dean. I'll humor you if you think there might be something important.
Nick will still look at you like, didn't you leave class? Like, isn't that gonna be like awkward? You know, like, it's fine if that's what you guys want to do. I'm always with you guys. You know, you guys help me out, and I'm your, you know, I'm your friend, so I'll go along with you. But I'm just, it's gonna be kind of hard to explain. That's all.
All right. Yeah, this is a you question, Dean. Is this something important?
Well, do you remember those newspaper articles? And there was one about the beach with the rum runners. I found a sort of like what appears like a cave entrance, and it kind of looks a little out of place. It looks like it's dug, right? Or is
Yeah.
it actually like?
So it looks like it is. It was. It seems like it was an underground, so not underground. It was like a naturally formed cave, but it seems like what has happened is they've designed it in such a way that the sand covers the entrance for the most part. So like you'd have to like dig down, and the image you get is something like a turtle, where you know you like you kick the sand out and then you slide under. You're basically.
Okay. I mean, it might be something. I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe we end up finding like some, like, you know, I don't know, 70-year-old bottles of rum, or you know, maybe we just find some sea glass and arrowheads in the sand. I don't know, but again, like I said, I feel like everything recently is uh unnatural and um poses some kind of threat. I don't know.
Eddie stops Dean and is like, all right, and looks at like he's looking at the clock, like, I will go, but if there's nothing there, I'm running right back.
That's fine. If there's nothing here, I'll fly you back.
Wait, you're gonna run to the coast? It's gonna take like forever. I don't think he's ever seen you actually run. Because
Yeah,
when you confronted him, he didn't do anything that involves speed, as far
he's like,
as I know.
don't worry about it.
Okay. Do you need me to help, or do you want me to just be here? It's up to you guys.
Gosh,
I mean, Nick, you're part of the crew. If you want to come, let's go. Let's make it a party, beach party.
yeah.
I mean,
Good for you, Nick.
Nicholas is fine with it because, no offense, Nicholas has been known not to show up for classes. He was always outside, like in the
I mean,
garden
we'd love
area.
to have you, Nick.
Okay. So Nick will go, okay, but I don't think I can, what would you say, run there? It's like, well, how am I going to get there exactly?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay. Taxi service. Got it.
Taxi service again.
So you pick it. Luckily, Nick
I'm
isn't,
getting a lot of use out of this.
Nicholas isn't a big guy, so you can taxi him. Okay, so oh, you go real fast. Okay, got it. All right. Within about this is just wrong. Within about a few minutes, Eddie is on the beach. Nicholas has his dreadlocks have been messed up a bit because you know, but he's fine and otherwise fine. He'll stand on the beach with you. Okay, all right. Where is? Oh, I see. There's a sand gap over there. I assume you're in contact with Dean at this point, still. So
Yeah, are we like at the same location?
you're at the beach. I assume he's like down. Did you go down into the cave, Dean?
I haven't
Oh,
gone
okay.
into it, but
Okay, so
I'm kind of looking up. I'm kind of like,
you see him in the
Look-
distance, looking into the spot where the cave is, because he
Got it.
hasn't stepped in there yet.
I'm hoping Dean was more specific than I went to the beach.
I mean, he probably gave something more specific than the specific beach part of it, I
Okay.
assume, unless he just wanted you running up and down the beach.
Yeah, that would be awkward.
no, I gave a specific location.
Okay. As you approach Deed, you and Nicholas look down and you see big old duck prints that he failed to mention. Like, wow, those are some
Dean, you didn't
big ducks they've got
you
here.
didn't think to mention the unnatural duck prints?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Skip this fine.
Slipped my mind somehow. I I think I was just distracted by the prospect of finding 70-year-old rum.
He goes,
My bad. I should have mentioned that.
even if those are ducks, they're enormous. Those are some big ducks. It's like, let's see. He goes, rough estimation, because he knows biology. I think he goes, if that's a duck, duck foot, he goes like about this big, and they're like, that's a big duck. Like, just FYI there.
All right.
No, just remember, if it looks like a giant duck, swims like a giant duck, and quacks like a giant duck, it's probably a deep one. Don't forget that.
Do you even know what a deep one is? You probably don't.
I don't know. So that was out of character. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
That's something that Eddie might know more of, Cthulhu stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, you'd probably have a better shot at it at least. Yeah. All right. So, whack. You guys go down into over to where the sand area is. Oh yeah, yep. If you dig it out, you can climb down there.
Does it smell?
Was it? No, it's not snow. It's sand. You're basically
No. Does it smell?
Oh,
Like, is there?
yeah, like the sea. It doesn't smell great. No,
Smells like low tide.
it smells like low tide in there.
I love the smell of low tide.
You know, this is actually like a kind of a nice quiet spot, really, isn't it? It's like, you know, it's away from things. People don't bother you. Not bad, really.
This
I
is
thought
the
it was-
first time, Eddie will like confide in Nick, like, this is actually my first time skipping.
Yeah, I didn't see you much as a skipper. That's why I was asking.
But you're right, Nick. This is kind of nice.
It's quiet. Right. So nobody brought like, did they bring a flashlight or something? Because you're looking down a hole, you know.
I didn't think to bring a flashlight. Honestly, I didn't even think I'd find anything. I just thought I'd.
Okay. Let's see. Does Eddie do anything? I'll ask while you're looking down into the pit, because basically you
Yeah.
have to climb into the sand.
I imagine it's really dark in there.
Yeah.
And no, Eddie is the kind of person who would bring, like, a scope and a walkie-talkie, but no flashlight.
Okay.
So that's kind
let
of
me see what I can do. Nick puts his hand kind of in somewhere into the pit area, and the algae stuff starts to glow slightly luminescently. He goes,
Ooh.
better than nothing. That's what I got. He's a nature mage. He really doesn't.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, that's what I got for you. I'm gonna go climb down into the slightly glowing hole.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. You sift some sand aside, and you notice that there's kind of like a stony. You can basically slide down there, and you see that there is lit by the bioluminescent algae and the greenish stone. You notice something that you could probably use as an entrance. All right. Looks at you guys. This is your show, guys. He's just standing back there.
Yeah, I don't know. I will look at Dean like, you think this is a good idea? Kind of like a,
I've never thought of using it for this purpose before, but I raise my hand in a swinging motion as I ignite my flaming sword. It's a unusual method, but I think it will light the way. I'll take lead.
Just get behind the flaming sword.
nice.
Okay, that's fine. But the question is, there is literally, it looks like there's like a stone entrance that you actually have to like kind of push to get in.
All right.
it seems like a normal person would just sort of look at it and see a cave wall, but because you guys are purposely like using magic and have had experience with some weird stuff, you're like, okay, I think if we push this and slide this, then the door opens. It's not super complicated, you know what I mean?
All right. It sounds like a Dean thing. Dean, are you
You wanna,
think you can move this?
Yeah, let me see. I'll give it a try.
oh boy, physical.
Okay, hold on.
I'm gonna laugh you pull your back out. Oh, I got it, guys.
All right. I rolled a 2.
Fantastic. He he pushes on the stones, and you hear the mechanism because you're that kind of person. Unlock, and it's okay. So there is a mechanism back there. Probably really simple, like a rock goes up and a rope goes down or something like that. And he pushes. He's like, "All right, now all I gotta do is open the door." Ow, 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 back. He groans. Um, Nicholas is like, something wrong there? You all right?
Oh gosh, Dean. Maybe I'll give that a go. And Eddie will, try moving the door now that he knows there's some mechanism there.
It seems like whatever Dean did unlock it. It's not super complicated, but to push it open is a feat of strength.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But now that there's some, we know there's something there at least.
Yeah.
Eddie will try it. Okay. Plus physical would be a 7.
Okay.
My lucky number today.
It's still a success. However, it is whoosh, and like there's like a whoosh of air as the thing is opened. You assume that one of the reasons that it's hard to open is the difference in pressure between the cave and the thing. So you have to have a certain amount of oomph to get it open.
Yeah.
Um, Dean,
Is there like a wash of like air?
yeah, of also of like smell and like decay
Oh, okay.
and low tide from the room that you were in,
Hmm.
and no, not for 70-year-old Rub, unfortunately. Dean, you didn't take any physical damage, just emotional damage. You're fine for the most part. Your back just aches a little bit. You're gonna feel it tomorrow, I'm sure.
Oh, it's just par for the course. I swear. I'm gonna feel like I'm 30, but 30 years old by the end of the week.
You did get beat up pretty
He got
bad
beat up
yesterday.
yesterday. Yeah, then he gets hurt today.
Yeah, that's no
Okay.
fun.
So in front of you it seems to be a long sort of cave corridor. If you want to go down into the dark cave corridor with your little flame sword and just march
Is
forward.
is this space tall enough or high enough where
Oh
I
no,
can?
no, there's enough space. Like
Oh,
you,
okay.
it's like you're about like 5 foot, like 4 to 5 feet tall. The looks like you have space for about 6 to 8 foot tall. So it's big.
Okay. I'm gonna slowly advance into the tunnel.
Okay. So okay, we're advancing into a dark tunnel lit by a sword. He just starts thinking about it. He goes, I don't watch many films, but I've seen Lord of the Rings. It's like I've seen things like that, right? Nothing. Go ahead. Just call it Sting, I guess. So we'll walk forward.
I don't think Lord of the Rings has come out yet, has it?
Just the animated series.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you probably saw like the animated Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, Dean says yeah, I have this I've got the the VHS cassette tapes for the animated Lord of the Rings. Just let me know if you hear anything like.
I mean, you
Ah,
you expect that coming from a guy that carries a wood buckler, basically, is what he has. It's like a wooden buckler. Of course, he's into Lord of the Rings. Okay. Um, let's see, we've got what, like 8 minutes and no one's coming back yet? Cool. Because we were gonna stop at like 11 anyway. Alright. So you guys march through the caves for a little while and you realize this is going to lead you to a cave system. And so you start seeing like branching paths and it's like, alright. Now the real question is, do we want to just pick one? You know, like out of character, not as Nick. Do you want to go left, right, or center? It's always that every time.
You know what? That's a question for a D4. That's what I hear. Left, right, or center. All right. Okay. That to the right.
Okay. Scary as that is, I've done enough D&D that I've already mapped out in my head what each of these things is. All right, so you go to the right. You go to the right, and you hear sounds of motion, metal on like tabletop, like like clank, and like things being cut and eaten and stuff like that. How do you approach? Does someone just kind of like Dean just like pop his head and the flame sword around the corner? I mean, you could hear it coming up to it.
So we're hearing, like you said, metal clanking and like
Sounds of eating,
sounds of eating.
loud eating, things like that.
Can I roll a be vigilant?
Sure, that's fine.
Because this seems kind of like maybe a dangerous situation to be in. Okay.
Okay.
So that's a 10.
Okay, that's pretty good. You got 3, so go with that.
All right. What's my best way in, I guess? As a start, I'll start with that.
To this room, or are you trying to get
Yeah.
in? Okay. Unfortunately, it seems like there's only like basically main doors from the side that you're on. You could approach it from what looks to be a back room, but you'd have to kind of go around. You'd have to go past the big doors and then kind of go further down the hallway.
Got it. Are there any dangers I haven't noticed yet?
Um, dangers you haven't noticed yet. Well, let me think. The problem is you haven't really you're not really looked for danger. Let me think about how this is phrased.
Sorry.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. I'll give it to you this way. This place is probably much bigger than you think it is. So like just FYI. The danger that you haven't noticed is that like this might be the entrance to a much larger complex and not just like a few caves.
Understood.
That's about as close as I can get to what you asked.
Yeah. No, that's good. I'll hold on that last question for
Okay.
later.
Are you gonna go take a look through those doors, or are you gonna just...
Yeah.
Okay. A sneaky time. D6 in physical.
You bet. Right.
I assume you tell Dean to stand back with the flame, so you're not
Yes,
walking by the door.
yes, I would hold Dean back. That's a 5.
Oh boy. All right. Well, you carefully walk up to the door with the big double doors that are there. They're of course made of the same stone material as the other door, and you kind of like go to gently like push them aside, right? You're like, okay, just gonna push these aside enough to look through the crack between them to see what's going on in there. Instead, you go, whoop.
Yeah, it takes a lot less force than I expected.
Well, you were expecting the other door. This is like the door to the mess hall, which is what you're about to
Yeah.
see in a second. So you push the door open, and of various sizes. Actually, now this is a where's that? What we're using for sanity? It's been a minute since we had to do one of these.
Keep your wits about you?
Yeah, this is a keep the wits about you. This is fucking weird.
You bet. All right. So that's a 6.
Okay.
Is that oh gosh.
Yeah, no, well, I'll get to it. You push the door. You hear noises of people eating, but you didn't expect what was on the other side of that door. This is such a great place to hold because it's about 11 o'clock. You're like, okay. So the total scene is you go there, you slowly push the doors open, and then you're like, whoa. And peering out into a hall of like a mess hall with like several large tables are green men of various heights. Some of them are like big goobery types, like 8 feet ish. Some of them are like 5 to 4 feet tall, like humanoid size, and
Okay.
they're like mid eating, so it's kind of funny in its own way because they're like using like rudimentary tools and like looking up at you, and you just completely lose your shit because you like open the door and you just see this room full of monsters having dinner, like you know, like you would like you know, pass the soy sauce, you know, like that kind of thing, right? And some of the things that they're eating, like, okay, you expect like crabs and things, but they're not eating them right. They're like ripping them open and like dangle, you know, like the things are dangling into.
Oh no.
Nick, just like, oh, he can't see what you see. You're lucky. You're lucky. Nick can't see that, and he's just like, how's it going? And he's just like, ah.
Ah.
And we'll close with Eddie screaming into his head off because this is horrible in there, and it smells and it's terrible. And there's green men eating shit in there.
This is not what
And
I was expecting.
you decide to go with them. What a nice. This is why you never skip school. This is why you never skip school. So yeah, the closing scene is opening up to the mess hall full of you know what? No, you're not in your right mind. I was gonna say you can make a roll for what you saw, but nah, that's you're too busy absorbing the moment for that. And yeah,
Pick up here next time.
we'll stop there. Yeah, that'll be funny because I'll have to catch them up and they'll be like, oh, so where did they end up? Well, they decided to go on a trip. All right,
Field
so
trip.
yeah, we'll stop there. Let's see, step